I'll tell you what, it looks nice, but I'm so old, I need a road map
I know
where we're going.
I'm like, where do the
Remind
inputs
me
and outputs
next time to get up at 4:15.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 5:15 is not early enough. I think once we get it all figured out, it'll be super easy.
All right, here we go. You ready, Catherine Ann?
We are ready to rock and roll.
Live from VentureX Studios, it's JP, Kathy, and the crew.
Happy Friday.
I didn't even fade you out, by the way. I just shut you down.
Just happy Friday.
Yes, happy.
So we're running a little bit late. We like to do this, do our podcast live with you guys 3 days a week. And we're very excited here at VentureX Studios. We've got a new studio manager, guy who's totally tech savvy, so tech savvy that everything is like so organized and like so every wire.
Tables taken out. Things are pretty.
Everything that should go where it should go is great. But JP and I are old dogs. And so if you're going to teach us a new trick, you got to teach it to us a couple of days in advance.
Give me a roadmap.
So we hope you are hearing us. Do you hear us? Because we think we have the input for the audio figured out. So if you can let us know.
Well,
if you
sadly,
can actually hear us.
the leader of the crew is not texted me yet to say, is there no show today or not?
But now my dad did.
Oh, good.
He said, are y'all on?
Oh, good.
So let's look at them. You know what? Here's what I can do.
I'm going to go over to Restream chat and see.
I can hear us.
Oh, we can hear each other. Okay.
So, hey, yay, JP.
Woo.
Way to figure out what chord we needed.
Yeah, we'll see if Zoom works.
Okay.
We may give Chandler a new talent, sign language.
Good morning, Greg. Good morning, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, no, we plan on starting at 7:30. We've had some tech challenges, so there you go.
Well, so again, as Kathy said,
growing pains because we've got more shows
Right.
coming on. There's more shows coming on here at VentureX. Super excited about all of that, but that required.
But they hired somebody.
Yeah, that required.
They hired somebody.
Actually, we're to the point now where you've got to have a person who can manage all of the shows because there are shows 6 days a week.
Right.
So anyway, so with that being said, which is a great thing, no complaining. But now this, our new person, Nathaniel, has got everything so tech savvy and so streamlined. Like the chords are all running parallel with each other. Everything's nice and neat, and I love that. But then, like I said, JP and I are old dogs. You got to teach old dogs new tricks a couple of days in advance.
I just need a roadmap.
Yeah.
Like, hey, get here
This
2 hours
line-
early so you can get
this
everything
line
figured out.
says, good morning, Fred. Good morning, Michelle.
And
Good morning, Nathan.
I have Chandler's name.
Good morning, Ann.
Do I have
Good morning, Joni.
the Chandler?
We should have her soon.
Oh,
Do we have
look
Chandler?
at I get to see
Yes.
her first. I get to see her. I can hear
Lucky
you too.
duck. I can hear her. Yay!
Hey, but you're sideways. Hey, it's right side up, Chandler. I just created a new Barbie. Right side up, Chandler.
So we're getting ready to have the longest reigning Texas in Texas pageant history. Okay. She's about to be on the screen with us.
Oh, I'll share her.
Please share her. She's the best looking one of the bunch.
I'll share
There she is. Oh, we love you, Chandler. We missed you.
Oh, I miss y'all too.
So, Chandler, you're going to have to give us 3 minutes.
To what? To say how much we love her?
Well,
and ooh and ah over her?
No, not so much that. Well, ooh and ah we'll do in 3 more minutes. But they rearranged our entire studio. And so I've had to reconfigure.
Not figuring it out. Okay.
Yeah, so which is great. And when you come in here and see us and actually do live with us in person, it's phenomenal what this new guy has done. But, JP and I are creatures of habit.
Well, and I figured it out.
I know, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
If it were me, I'd still be sitting there going,
So, all right. So
I can, but I can't hear Kathy.
Oh, I can hear Kathy good. Kathy, speak up.
Hello? I can hear me?
It's like, just from my end, it sounds like Kathy is not on a microphone, but it sounds like you're on a microphone.
Oh, I wonder if we're just getting audio from the computer.
Oh, you may be.
That may be what I'm getting, but I can hear it in our headset though.
I love you, Chandler.
Love you too.
Oh, you know what? That's exactly.
I heard
what it is.
Because I screamed it with my loud outside voice.
Is that?
Well, we're very excited that we've got Chandler on today. We're going to be talking with her. I mean, she's made history.
Can you hear Kathy now?
The same.
This is just the same. I think she's picking up my loud voice off of
Maybe it's me.
that. No, we think it's because we've hooked our Zoom in a different way.
Well, but we should be. It's not picking up the road.
Well, we're going to be talking with Chandler today about what her plans are after Miss Texas, what it's like to have been the longest reigning Miss Texas in pageant history, and then also get her take on, we just finished up celebrating Black History Month. So what is it like, and kind of some of the pageant history of Black women in pageants, and what it's like to be a Black woman making history this year in a pageant. So we've got so JP might be asking her all those questions, and I might just be nodding and thumbs upping it.
Computer just went completely blank.
Oh, well.
Something's happening. I think we're being taken over by aliens.
Okay, good times.
Hey, seriously, something's going on up
Yeah, I was like, what is that? I don't even know what that is.
My computer just went completely black.
Yeah, that's what Charles said. It's because we're using it. It's coming out of your computer. And said, "Good morning, Lisa. Thank y'all for bearing with us while we stumble through new technology in the studio, or streamlined technology, which will eventually be a great thing for us."
Right?
So, but in the meantime,
You might want to text Chandler and tell her that we are in complete and total technical fault here. I don't know what happened.
Huh. Are you rebooting? Or?
I'm trying. Doing the best that I can. That's weird. I wonder if it's doing an automatic reboot. Interesting. Okay. So while I'm figuring out all the technical stuff, Chuck, can you still hear us? Because I'm not even on the Doodaddy McJagger anymore. So, yeah, interesting
We
day.
might have Chandler again next week. Please stand by.
Oh, there we go. Michelle goes at 7:59. Is there a show? Laugh out loud.
Yeah.
She goes, I knew you were running late. Laugh out loud.
No, we were
Actually,
here
we were
plenty
here
of time.
early,
We were
actually.
here early today, and
For once, by the way.
but we just.
Yeah, don't let me own that every time.
I was gonna say
For
no.
once.
That's not. No, we were here early, and wanted to started to get the cameras going, and had a little bit of an issue there, and then we're like, okay, wait, how do we get the sound going? Should we shut down and then reboot once we get her back on?
That doesn't
Good
make
morning,
That
everybody.
doesn't make any sense. Once we get her back on, shut down and reboot again?
No, shut down and then reboot when we get her back on.
When we
Is everybody seeing us? I guess.
Yes, because
Still,
we're
or
going
can
out
you
through
see?
Switcher. It's my computer that's rebooted. I think I pushed the update so far that my computer finally said, "No mas, senor."
Okay. Well, she is on. She said she's on standby.
Tell her just to bear with us. We're sorry. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Brand new technical difficulties. So I wanted to say this. Chuck called me this morning and asked me how it went because he said I got shot yesterday.
Yeah. Which let's
22
explain that.
Well, 22 caliber bullet. It did go through my clavicle.
No, whatever.
I want it to be cool.
Whatever. Oh,
So,
please, whatever.
This was cool though, right? So I'm on the Collin County wait list amongst 14 others. I put my father on a week in advance, right, of me. And so he was way ahead of me sequentially. So last week, I get a email that says,
Right.
we have sold you as a free agent to the city of Frisco list, because that's the only way I'm going to hit free agency, by the way. I've never signed any contract dividends from that. But, so.
Wait, what did you say?
you know,
Sorry, I was texting Chandler. I was
if you
actually
would-
focusing.
if you would
Usually I
step off your
multitask.
phone, you know.
You told me to text Chandler.
I
Okay,
did.
she said cool. She said she'll be on standby.
I hope that's what my computer is doing is updating.
Hopefully.
It's updating.
Hopefully. Okay,
She
so
had an
what
update.
were you saying about free agency? I was like, are we talking
Well,
sports?
I was a
right now?
free agent. See, I got traded from the Collin County wait
to the
list
Frisco to
the city of Frisco wait list, which I found out is also random, right? So you
that was my question.
it's like
because
bingo balls. They
why-
just pull you out.
Why, okay, my husband has been on the list, I have not made up my mind. I'm talking with the doctor before I get a vaccination, or to help determine if I'm going to. But my husband's like, you know what? Hey, if it's my time, it's my time. It's all good. He's like, if it changes me into an animal, whatever. But he was on the list a little bit after you got on the list. And what I didn't understand was you got the Frisco message. Your dad, who signed up before you.
Well, I signed him up. I've done all the signing up.
No. But I'm saying he was signed up before you.
Right.
And actually, wait, I take that back. Technically, Michael actually got on the list like a day or two before you did. You got your dad on the list, then you got on the list. But the irony is, you got this Frisco message. Nobody else did.
Which, by the way, gets me in right away.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking, and it wasn't one of these things, well, okay, dial into this website and hope that you get to get in and get an Eventbrite ticket. It was, your appointment is March 4th at 16:16 to 16:30 hours. And so I'm like, Dad, did you get this? I mean, I'm checking his cell phone. I'm like,
junk mail,
well, I'm teaching
anything,
him,
everything.
I'm treating him like he's 4. I'm like, hand me your phone. You know what you're doing.
I know you got something.
Right. And so nothing. I mean, crickets on his end. So I go on the Collin County wait list to verify he's on it. Oh, yeah, we verify
And he's still on it.
Yep, he's still on it. I'm like, oh, how intriguing is that? So then,
your dad was correct. He did
yes,
not receive anything.
He did not receive anything. And again, he was like, I don't know, geez, I want to say he was like number 15,000 on the list, and I was like number 82,000 on the list. Like a week made that big of a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Or 75,000 or something like that.
Yep.
Anyways, so I said, you know what? I'm loading Dad up, and we're going to go. And so I left Evolution Academy early, went and got Dad, and we went up to the Stonebriar Mall. Okay?
Okay.
And so, because it's in the old Sears building is where it's at.
Right.
Or Sears store, not
Right.
building. Sears didn't have a building at Stonebriar Mall. So we park. We turn into the 103.7 or 107.3 because you got to listen to this little message. We did our little message thing. So he has his walker, and we go inside. And I'm talking about massively organized.
Yes.
The city of Frisco's got it going on.
Yes.
They have an information center. They've got a check-in. Then they've got the wait area so that you wait, so they make sure there's no massive issues.
Meaning, what would be a massive issue?
Well,
what?
They say that if you're going to get a what do they call them, Kathy? When you like an allergy to something?
Oh, an allergic reaction.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When you get if you're going to get an allergic reaction, it's going to happen within 15 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
And they don't list the severe ones. Because I actually read, it was funny. The lady asked me, she goes, "Did you actually read the disclaimers?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I read them all." She goes, "Well, you want to tell your dad?" Thinking that I had not read them.
Right.
And I spouted them all off. And she goes, "You really did read them?" I said,
And most people probably come in, they're like, eh.
I said, "Yeah, I read them. I read
It's
them all."
like the Apple phone contract. You're just like, okay, update, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
And
So-
that's why they're watching us.
Yeah.
Big Brother is watching.
Big
okay?
Brother is watching and listening, by the way. So
I know that.
So I get him in. We go to information. I look at the guy and I'm like, okay, let me ask you a question. Out of the two of us, who do you think I'm here for an appointment? And he goes, well, him. And I said, nope. I said, he didn't get chosen. I did. I said, I need him to get this shot far more than I need the shot.
Right.
I said, I'm willing to give up my spot for him. Can we do that?
Right.
And he's like, okay, so in lieu of. I said, sure. And he says, well, if we can get you both? I said, then that's even better.
And God bless you. Yes.
Right. And so we got taken around to this nice lady named Susan, who is the IT director or assistant director for the city of Frisco.
Right.
And she put my dad right on in there, and we got up. We walked 10 feet. EMT grabbed us, pulled us over to a table. 2 questions. 1, 2, 3. Stick.
What are those 2 questions? And did they take
you-
your temperature ahead of time?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm sure.
It's are you coming in on your own volition?
Okay.
Okay. Are you asking for the shot?
Right.
And then the next one is, do you have any allergic reactions to medications?
Okay, interesting.
Because everything else is already pre-done. So you've already signed all the
Yeah,
disclaimers.
you've already filled all the stuff out, I'm assuming, ahead of time.
Right.
Okay.
And so we sit down, 1, 2, 3, push the shot in the arm, and pushes the button down, and you've got it. Now go sit over in zone A.
See if you have a reaction.
Right. You have to wait. They write a time on a little sticker.
Right.
And they put it on your shirt.
Okay.
So that the paramedics who are up in the front can see that.
Right, okay.
And so when that time hits, then they release you to go home, right?
Right.
So my dad, so we get down there, we're sitting, we're fine. My dad says, I need to use the restroom. Is there a bathroom here? This is where it gets funny.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Well, I was like,
yeah.
oh, where are we going with this?
This is funny. So I guess the bottom line is we got the shot. Both of us got the shot.
Right.
And we'll go back April the 1st, same time. I mean, they're ready. They give you your
They-
vaccination
so
card.
everything's good to go.
Yep. And they're like, okay, you come back on this day at this time. So 4 weeks out, we will be back there doing our thing, right? So he goes, I need to use the
Michelle
bathroom.
said she's a contract reader too.
Oh,
She's
is she?
giving you a big thumbs up.
Oh, good. So, so he walks way over to go use the restroom out of
Right.
the exit door, right?
Right.
Well, I didn't realize what they're doing is they're kicking him out to the mall. So they kick him out to the mall to
Oh
go to
no,
the
and then your dad's
bathroom.
lost shopping.
Oh, are you ready for this? He's gone forever. And what's funny is the guy goes,
Did he go to California Pizza Kitchen?
no, better than that. But this is so funny, though, because the paramedic guy makes a joke because there's a bunch of people sitting in zone A and zone B,
Yeah.
right? He's like, yeah, we're here till the last person leaves. And I said, that'll probably be my dad.
Because y'all just allowed him to go into, because that's Stonebriar Mall. That's a
Right.
great mall over there.
Right. Well, and he's like a 16-year-old with a credit card. He's like, oh. So, yeah, I mean, I could already see it with his big beard and his mask, and his eyes go like Baby Yoda.
Oh, I'm in the mall.
I'm in the mall.
By myself.
Yeah, with a walker. See, he's even better because he's got his real fancy dancy walker where he can sit down, which is the first time he's ever used it, by the way. Proud of him. He chose to do that. So it's hilarious.
Oh,
Yes, that's
that's
big.
news.
That's big. Yep.
good for you, Stan the man. I'm
Yeah,
proud of
he
you.
did
I love
good.
that.
So, like 40 minutes goes by, and all the workers are now done, and everybody's coming to the front to have their team meeting, and I'm still sitting there. And this guy walks up to me and goes, "Sir, are you okay?"
Yeah, did you have a reaction?
I almost felt like sitting there with my eyes glazed over
Yeah, like.
and
wait,
try to cause some drool to come
no,
out. I
no,
almost did that.
But you didn't want to do that to these people who are
No.
working their tail end off. God bless them.
No, because
yeah.
my first question after I got the shot was, so how long before I become a zombie?
Oh, yeah. Because my friend Kathy's going to brain me with a machete.
Yeah, and so
And she says that's the good friend thing to do.
Right.
That's the
So-
kind thing to do to a friend.
So I just need to know if you can let me know when I become a zombie. So it's hilarious.
Fred Norton. Oh no!
What'd Fred say?
He just said he probably went to Victoria's Secret to buy some things for his ladies.
Oh, thanks, huh? Yeah, I'll give you some things, Fred. Don't give me any ideas.
Oh, yeah, Fred, don't plant that seed,
Don't
honey.
plant the seed. So, anyways, so this is hilarious. I finally call him. I'm like, dude, did you fall in? So I call him. I'm like, Dad, are you okay? Oh, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm heading. It's just a long walk. He's like, do you know where Forever 21 is? I'm like,
First of all, why does he need Forever
No.
21?
Yeah, I'm like, no. Well, no, I don't. Oh, well, it's just a really long walk from the bathroom back, but I'm on my way back. I'm sitting down right now on my chair, but I'll be there in a minute. Okay. So I tell the
At
paramedic
this point,
guy,
are you tracking him on your
No,
phone?
but I need to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Live
I need to do-
360. I'll get
yeah.
you hooked up after the show.
So it's hilarious. 20 minutes later, and the deputy has left the door because the door's locked. Like, they got to let you back
Did
in.
they like put a stick in it to hold it
Yeah,
open for
yeah.
staying?
No, I just sent the paramedic over there to let him back in, right? So,
Oh,
yeah, this gets better. So he's hidden in his little chair
bless him.
because he's got a little storage box in there, right?
Right.
He's hidden in his chair, sees candy. He
I love that
found
place.
the Seas candy.
So good.
And so he's coming back, and we're walking out, and he goes, "You want a sample?" And I'm like, "What?"
Of what?
He goes,
Seas candy.
"Do you want us? I got you a sample." I'm like, "You got me a?" He goes, "Did you know there's a Seas candy
That was so
here?"
you wouldn't get so mad at him.
Right. I'm like, "You're kidding me."
You're trying to
right, Dad?"
bribe me with a sample, Dad. Literally, you've held the city of Frisco up
Yeah, for like,
because you found Seas candy
Yes.
at Stonebriar Mall.
yes. And he goes, "Well, I told the paramedic guy once I got back in that I went to Seas candy." I'm like, "Dad, it doesn't make it any better."
They're talking about Stan today.
Oh, there's no doubt.
They're like,
No doubt.
oh, so this guy comes in yesterday with his son. That's how it's kind of like a priest and a rabbi walk into a bar. This guy comes in with his son.
Yeah.
And then
Santa
they're-
Claus
yeah.
and his elf walk in the door. Yeah. Oh, so that was my experience
oh my
yesterday.
Goodness.
No side effects. My dad's had no side effects.
That's and praise be on that. That's good stuff. You got to make sure. Yeah, that's the way you want it to be. Now I know I've had family members who have taken the shot, and the second one, extreme tiredness. So when you go there, they don't. I mean, there's no there. Do they say which vaccination do you want? Did you know ahead of time?
Yes, they tell you Moderna. Like for mine, it was I got Moderna, not the Pfizer.
Is that what everybody will get if they're at the Frisco location in Collin County? Do we know?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, if anybody knows, let us know if you've gone through Collin County and received a different vaccination.
So what I do know is that, and this is kind of cool. What I do know is
I know your dad did want the Johnson & Johnson.
He
one.
wants the Johnson &
have that.
Johnson one. So what we do know though is that the city of Frisco will be taking 40,000 more people off the list next week. They will administer next week 40,000 more shots.
Okay.
So here's the thing though. They say they take it sequentially.
Okay.
So if you're on the Collin County list and you're prior to 75,000, you need to call because you've been passed up.
Oh, so okay, if you're okay, I need to tell my husband that because I wonder if he feels like I'm not getting anything anymore.
Yeah.
So do you need to get back? So you got to get back in the back of the line?
No, you go to the Collin County website for
Okay.
COVID-19.
Okay.
And it says check wait list to make sure you're on the wait list.
Right.
Click on that and make sure you're on it. Because here's what's interesting.
Right.
When the city of Frisco checked the wait list for Collin County because they wanted to make sure he was on there,
Right.
They couldn't find him. I had to go on my phone,
and
to the Collin
show
County.
the proof that you had him on there.
Well, I found it on their website.
Oh, gotcha.
But Frisco,
okay.
when the Frisco got their download, they didn't get my dad's name, so I showed her my phone.
Okay.
But she was going to let him get it anyways. I mean, when you look at him, it's like, yeah, he needs the shot.
I think that's discernment.
Oh.
I mean, they're like, okay, this is a gentleman who has health issues, and we'd be stupid to turn him away.
You're going to love this, by the way.
Yes.
You know what he said? He goes, you know why I brought my walker, don't you? And I'm like, no, why? He goes, you get more chicks that way.
Oh. Okay, Stan gets the ladies paying attention to him no matter what way it is. So whatever.
I thought it was hilarious.
If he has a walker, if he has Cleo the pug with him, he always has the ladies. I mean, we'll be at a restaurant and everybody's like, "Oh, how you doing?" And I'm like,
"Yeah,
what is going on here?" Okay, now. Craig Rusk, he said, I'm doing the Patron vaccine myself. Is there a Grey Goose Martini vodka vaccine? That's the one I want. Fred said that he had a mild headache for a couple of days after the first shot. His wife had the Moderna shot, and she had extreme fatigue the next day. Or after the second shot. So, and that's what I'd heard.
So we may experience that after the second shot. We've just gotten shot number one.
Exactly. So, but no headaches, nothing.
Nothing
okay.
right now.
And that's really good news. Now you're in good health, but your father has some significant, and again, that's
Correct.
why we've talked about this openly the whole entire pandemic. Some significant things. So for him to go in and not have a reaction and everything go well, that does my heart good for family members and friends I know who are getting it right now, who I'm worried about.
Well, and to piggyback on that, one of the things, and again, because I read the whole thing, one of the things that you can get is shortness of breath. And my concern was that he would get the shortness of breath one because his lungs are already compromised from the congestive heart failure anyways. And so, but he doesn't. I mean, this morning he was sleeping when I left, so.
Well, and that's good. And see,
as I should have been.
Well, no, we should have been up here an hour earlier, so we would have started on time because we didn't realize that. And again, we're super excited.
Okay,
like I said,
tell Chandler to try again.
Oh, okay.
Now we're back.
Like I said, at VentureX, we're very excited. They've been so great and so supportive of our show. And all of our whole entire network, and the fact that we're adding new shows, and it's getting to the point where we can't manage it with leadership up here on our own. So they've hired somebody to help us out, and it's phenomenal. But they've done such a good job that JP and I were like, "Oh, so are we just going live from our phones today?"
Right.
Okay, I'm going to tell Chandler to try again, and then while we're getting her back on, I have had.
Do you hear that ringtone?
Yeah, what's that?
I hear it too. You heard it in your headset, right?
Yeah. What's
Okay.
that?
Well, that's what we should be hearing when we hear Chandler.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's what we should be hearing when we hear Chandler. So microphone's working.
Okay, but I'm also getting the feedback from your computer.
No, that was they replay my recorded voice, so the microphone's working.
Huh. Okay. Well, I did get a real quick a request because we haven't done this. I wasn't in studio last Friday. And again, thank you so much to everybody who's been so supportive with Jerry's death. And I will be putting out on Facebook details about visitation, the rosary, and the funeral mass time of celebration. We're still looking?
No, I've got her. She's on now.
Oh, she is on. Oh, okay.
Chandler, can you hear us? Okay.
I can hear.
Yay! Okay, well then a request that's come in, but we'll wait until after we talk to Chandler. We have had a Bold and Beautiful update request, which
there's Charles Gura, you're fired.
Yes, there is a jacked up storyline that it's even hard to believe in the soap opera world. So
Chandler, can
there
you hear?
She is.
Can you hear Kathy? Okay.
I can make out what she's saying.
Okay.
Well, she knows that all I'm saying is I love you. You're the best. So there you go, Chandler.
All right. Did she freeze on us?
I think she
I can't hear y'all right now. I think it kind of went out.
Well, we show you're frozen. Oh, you're back. You're unfrozen. So, Chandler, let's stop all this. How are things going? How are things going for Miss Texas? And how's your family? How's everything going?
Everything is fine. I'm about.
Oh, shoot, we're frozen again.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Graduating April 30th.
Oh, wait. Okay, say that again. Graduating when?
April 30th.
Yay!
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now we can.
Okay, hey. Y'all keep going in and out, so I don't know what's happening. But it's okay. So, yes, I'm graduating April 30th. One of the most anticipated, exciting events, I would call it like the first step. For Miss Texas happening in June is spring meeting is happening next month. That's when we preview our talent. We put all of our information in, submitting. Miss Texas Week will be, and when I was competing, that was my favorite time of the year because it's like, okay, time to kick it into another gear. So the title holders are getting all geared up, especially after reigning for 2 years. And so that's exciting. And the fam is great. My mom's getting a puppy this weekend.
Oh.
So I think
Yay!
That's exciting news. So yes.
So Chandler, talking about 2 years of reigning, does that make you the longest? Because we've been talking about Black History Month. We've had Clarence on our network talking about Black History Month, and it's just been a really good month of segments.
A great month of discussions. Yeah.
And so does this make you the longest Black female running for Miss Texas?
Or holding
or for
the
title. Or for the whole world.
Holding the title.
I say the world, the whole country even.
I was about to say, really, longest Black, yes, there's only been 3 of us, but longest in general, No one has ever had to reign in the middle of a pandemic.
No.
So that's something that I can say, wow, that was the longest reigning Miss Texas because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
And nobody will ever be able to say that again. It's, you've had so many historical moments, when you competed in Miss America, wearing your afro, just all of the things that you've done. You've got so many things to be proud of, and we're so proud of you as Miss Texas. What would you say is your most proud part of serving these past almost 2 years?
Yeah, I think last month was a realization for me that, not a realization, I love celebrating Black History Month, but in the same token, I do understand that Black history is now, Black history is forever. So it really should be celebrated year round. It's so many things that we're not aware of, or so many legends or creators that we don't even know are responsible for the things that we use and that we are, attached to today. So I think my greatest honor in playing this role is the fact that I can be an example of representation to girls who are young, who aspire to be, either a title holder or aspire to achieve their scholastic dreams, just to have that image that they can say, wow, this too can happen for me as well. Because when I was young, I didn't have that image. I didn't see girls that looked like me. So I think that's one of the most proud moments that I can have, and just to be an example for, as a Black woman in general. But again, to reign for 2 years and to be able to take this opportunity and say, you know what, I'm going to make the best of this, and I'm going to serve with everything in me. And so that's been my proudest moment.
I think that's wonderful, because you are such an inspiration. You've got so many stories, and I love, well, first of all, you put Christ first. And Chandler, unfortunately, that's rare in the pageant world, to have somebody as open as you. Now, some of our Miss Texas ambassadors that we've had on are very open about being, serving Christ first. But again, you paved the way for them too. So to be able to talk about your love of Christ, to be able to be a young Black woman and showing other young Black girls that, hey, this can be you too, or whatever you want to do. The sky's the limit nowadays. The sky is absolutely the limit. So to me, I just see so many places where you've been a first and you've really been a trailblazer. So is there a book coming out? No pressure.
What's so funny, Kathy? No, what's so funny is since about, what was it? September of last year, I've been really talking with my mom about how I'm writing a book, just for this, not only just this entire experience, which has been a transitional time period for me. I mean, this is the beginning stages really of womanhood, and I was able to spend it as a state title holder, which I feel like there's no better way to develop or, like I said, transition as a woman than like being an ambassador for such a phenomenal organization. And so, yes, I am working on one.
I love
believe
it.
Believe it or not.
I love it. Oh, and say hi, and Dexter's on.
Oh,
hi Chandler's
Dexter.
Dad. Hi Miss Texas's dad.
Hey, we gotta play football in Brats, man.
Please stop.
After the pandemic, he's got to come here and hang out with JP, Kathy, and the crew.
Well,
during football season.
I got one better for you.
Uh-oh.
We've got schools now down in Houston that my company's working with.
Oh, so you may be making a road trip to see
Miss
Texas's dad yourself.
Especially during football season. I'm going to see if I can bombard
Chandler, you've created a monster.
Please do.
You know I will. I'm going to reach out to you. So, but yeah, no, well, Chandler, I'll tell you what, it has been such a privilege to know you and get to work with you. Have you in
We're
studio.
We're still going to work with her, even when she leaves Miss Texas.
Will you please let me just say
it's like you're saying goodbye.
Stop.
It's only the beginning.
Stop. You're going to make me cry. Stop it. Okay. So, Chandler, as I was saying on my pageant walk, leaving the pageant, I'm giving up my crown of Mr. JP, of JP, Kathy, and the crew. No, I just think it's been so awesome, and thank you for always being willing to be a part of JP, Kathy, and the crew. And sorry about the technical issues this morning. It's been crazy.
Well, and we'll have you on again when the pageant gets ready to kick off. It looks like we'll get to see you, if not before then, we'll get to see you in June, because we're going to be broadcasting at least one of our shows live from the Miss Texas competition, the Miss Texas pageant. Oh, so very, very excited. So you'll have to obviously join us then on the show. But, we look forward to talking with you, for years to come. We just feel like we've gotten to know you so well over the last couple of years, and so we just want to talk to you about, where you're going next. If you're writing a book, how do we support that? How do we get your name out there even more? And we obviously, we just think the world of you, Chandler, and we love you dearly.
I think that we have to. There's no way, because we spent so much time together for these last 2 years, virtually and in person.
Yes.
There's no way that when I am to give up my crown, I can just say, all right, peace out, Katie and Kathy. My job is done. So as long as you understand, there's a mutual understanding that we will continue this relationship, partnership, whatever you want to call it. And we have so many things to discuss. So the sky's the limit, and I just enjoy being with y'all and talking with you. And thank you for giving me this opportunity time and time again.
Oh, we appreciate you, Chandler.
Bet.
God bless you. You're a treasure, and we just love you.
Oh, love y'all more.
Hey, give your family a big hug for us, okay?
Mom and Dad, hi.
I
Sister's
will.
hi. Her sister was in a Super Bowl ad. Did y'all see that?
Yes, she is. It will also be shown. Oh my gosh, forgive me for I can't even believe I said that. Yes, my sister she was not only on a Super Bowl commercial that is being shown internationally, by the way.
Right.
It'll also be playing the night of the Grammys, the entire commercial, which she is, and
cool.
mind you, she's not in the commercial. She's the commercial.
She is. Oh,
she's the it girl.
I love
snapping
it.
At the beginning and the end.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. So congratulations to her too. So your parents must be so proud. Yeah. I'm so glad I remembered that, because I was like, yeah. Oh my gosh, I saw her sister on the Super Bowl commercial. I was like, is that Chandler's sister? What?
I can't believe I didn't mention that. Shame on me. Wow. Yes.
Oh, awesome. Well, we love you, Chandler. God bless you.
Love y'all too. Talk to you later.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Chandler bearing with us on the Zoom issues.
That's how you can tell she's been on the show so many times. She's like, okay, it's all good. She'll give us a second, third chance on the day. But, she has been such a delight, and just her honesty and her willingness to go and talk to these kids. And, JP, you and I, our biggest love in life is kids and helping kids and just making sure they're taken care of so they can thrive. And Chandler is such a great example of that. And she has done so much to inspire so many young people. And I know she's going to continue that journey. That's part of her DNA, like it's part of our DNA. So I'm just so thrilled for that. Just so thrilled for that.
So let's talk spring break for a minute, because this is an interesting conversation.
It's coming up, and what's so weird about spring break this year, JP, is it, especially in my mind, and a lot of us who have had school age kids last year or who are still school age this year. I remember CJ. He was sick, and he's never sick, but he was actually sick the Friday before spring break. And I thought, you know what, it's about to be spring break. I know you've already finished up exams. You've turned in your work. Good, grades are good. You know what? He didn't have fever, but I said, stay home. You'll be back in school in a week. And then all of a sudden, spring break's been extended a week. And we're like, oh, okay, well, a week. And then next thing you know, our world was rocked and changed forever. So I think spring break's like a real timestamp emotionally for us, especially here in the state of Texas, because that's when stuff just started changing.
Yep. Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. So spring break, what is that going to look like? So, for example, let's say you're planning a trip to Florida because Florida is open. I was talking with a paramedic last night, and he went to Florida during this last year for a week's vacation. Walked off the plane, no mask. Walked the streets, no mask. Right. Walked right onto the beach, no mask. Yeah. Everything is wide open. All the businesses are wide open.
No social distancing. All rocking and rolling
and whatnot. And he, got
there you go.
And he didn't. I like it when you go. Yeah. So, but he didn't get sick. He didn't get COVID-19. So we have friends right now. Coach Quigley.
Hi, Coach Quigley.
His wife is in Florida, or she was anyway.
Yes, having
a blast of a time with the grandkids.
Yes, and such cute pictures. Oh my goodness, yes. Those children need to be on magazine covers. But the only thing is they didn't get up close and personal. To, like, I remember back in the day, like when my brother and I went, and then I remember back when I was a teacher, and we used to take my drill team girls from Plano East to do competitions or exhibitions at Disney World. And we were up close and dancing with the characters and kissing on them and hugging them. But Coach showed us, I guess it's a pretty extreme social distancing for the kids now when they see those Disney characters,
Right. So they're there. And so I asked Coach Q, I said, what's the capacity there? And it's 35%. is
Oh,
what, and I'm
wow.
like, I need to get to Walt Disney World because then I can get on all the rides and I don't have to wait so long.
Don't have to get a speed pass.
Right. But just to give you a heads up, if you're going to Disney or you're going to do Universal Studios or anything like that, big time spring break time out there for them is the 15th through the 19th.
Okay.
Orange County schools, 90,000 kids will be on spring break. Osceola, I think if I pronounce that correctly, will be on spring break as well. And they have like 52,000 kids.
And what about college kids on spring break there? Because they're the real partiers.
They go to like Daytona, though. They don't go to Disney World, do they?
I guess not.
They go to
I
the
don't know.
beaches. I think they go
I'm
to the
so
beaches.
naive. Okay, sure.
Yeah, I think they're drinking.
Yeah,
and
that's true. They're out where there's a bar.
They're doing things they're not supposed to with each other, and because it's spring break.
that don't include social distancing.
All right. So, and then in town here, your big public schools, Dallas ISD and Houston ISD, they have their spring break March 15th through the 19th. So, for example, Plano and Frisco are next week. So you may not find the crowds as big at Disney as you would normally. But again, they're only allowing a 35%.
So you've got to,
capacity.
I mean, you can't just say, let's drive to Florida and let's go to Disney World. You have to plan that out because you have to have, I would imagine, passes ahead of time.
Right.
So you know you can get in. So not that any parents at this point in time in our world plan trips on the spur of the moment. You've planned at least where you're going to go, where you're going to stay, if you need tickets for any kind of museum, park, whatever the case may be, production, show, whatever. But nowadays, and again, depends on where you're going. You know, hey, when this coming Wednesday in Texas, mandates are lifted, so it's going to be a different opportunity for spring breakers in the state of Texas. But you might go to another state where they're still in severe lockdown mode. If you're expecting to take your kids to New York and go to a show on Broadway, well, that's not happening.
Right. Well, and I'm not sure if it is or isn't. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. But here's what Disney World, they have put together a page on what to expect and what to anticipate with crowds and getting in. One of the things that Coach Quigley had said was that also they had to buy everything online and have everything pre-bought. And I believe that probably to be very true. So if you're making a trip or want to make a trip to there, you may want to see if you can get your tickets still.
Right.
It's funny that they say the same thing I just said, that the colleges usually have less of an impact on Walt Disney World crowds due to age demographics. So I do think that's interesting. So I wasn't too far off.
Well, there you go.
So there you go. So if Disney is your choice, I would recommend you go to their page. They've got announcements on here. They'll tell you how to get a good ticket deal. They, again, it's just it'll give you some do's and don'ts and what to look out for as you get ready to plan your trip to Disneyland, if that's where you're going.
There you go.
Also, if you're traveling, remember that the airports are federal, and so you want to make sure that you are masking it up and
right.
compliant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I came across this. This is and a lot of people, you know, and especially those of us in Texas who were hit hard by the storm. And Michelle and Lisa were from the crew, were giving out a really great tip. And I remember back when we had such severe hail damage a few years back, and everybody's windows and roofs and everything were broken and cars were pummeled. And remember, we had people on who we trusted to talk about who the good guys are and who the bad guys are and how to watch out for them. Lisa from the crew had a bad experience with somebody helping after her winter storm damage. Make sure you vet. If somebody's just coming and knocking on your door willy-nilly and you don't see anything about them online, and even if they're offering you the best deal in the world, boy, be careful, because this is how people get burned. This is how you end up having to pay more down the road because they didn't correctly fix your home.
Right.
So Michelle and Lisa were giving us that public service announcement to the crew, and we appreciate that. But a lot of folks are still hurting from the pandemic. There are parents they both can't work. Maybe they've been out of work for a while. Maybe they've gone through vacation savings, education savings, started to dip into retirement or other savings. We recognize people are falling on really hard times. We really have people who are devastated. So this said 12 ridiculously affordable spring vacations. Cocoa Beach, Florida. And I guess this, and I'm just going to kind of read these to get through the list. But these are things you might want to look up. I found this on familyvacationcritic.com. They're saying that's, and like they're showing prices that are unreal for flight and for staying there. Blowing Rock, North Carolina. So that's another place that they're saying has unbelievably affordable prices. Jamestown, Yorktown, Virginia is another one. Palm Springs, California, which that fascinates me. Because usually that's like a crazy expensive trip. They're saying that McCall, Idaho is another one. If you want some cold, St. Pete Beach, Florida. Another one, where's this? Lake Placid, New York. So, and again, these are things you would want to do your homework on, but I'm just seeing unreal prices on these. Greenville, South Carolina. Lake Powell, Arizona. Is that anywhere near where your dad lived?
No, but it's on it. Lake Powell's it's a hot spot. It's got beautiful waterfalls and stuff like that. So
they're saying
and that's really close to Nevada.
Yeah, and they're saying a man-made reservoir on the Colorado River is a perfect backdrop if you want to go and if you want to go and camp out. So Blairsville, Georgia, and number 12 is Beach Mountain, North Carolina. And I mean, they're saying that some of these, like for example, and this is an affordable spring break skiing vacation, you can get hotel rooms, nice big hotel rooms, for between $100 and $200 a night. I mean, we're talking, I think some of these prices you're seeing this year, you'll never see again. So anyways, I'll put this link on our social media.
There we go.
So good times.
Good times.
Good times.
So other things spring break wise, it's interesting because every city is now posting a kind of not necessarily a warning, but hey, how to spring break in our city. Fort Lauderdale, Denver.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean all over Florida.
Plano, Frisco.
I didn't.
We didn't check locally.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Well, but there might be. JP, you're starting to talk like I didn't see that.
I didn't see
that. That's something you can do. Look up. North Texas, North Dallas, North Texas, hot spots, or wherever you are, and I know we've got folks from all over the country who tune into the show and from all over the state. And I guarantee you, somebody has gotten creative there and has some fun spring break things. Like I saw one of the things that I looked at was like an art camp for the family. So you can go and there's a weekend, you pay, it's a very affordable thing. You go to an art camp. And you can go, young kids, adults, you don't have to be an experienced artist. And so then you've got artwork you actually take with you back home. So that's a fun little, 2 or 3 day or even 1 day trip. So I think people are getting very, very creative, and this may be the time to take advantage of that.
Yeah. So so you want to go online, you want to take a peek. Make sure that when you go on your spring breaking, that you know what the rules are for that city. Because even though places are opening up and places are doing their own thing, it doesn't mean that it's just willy-nilly and you kind of do what you do at home.
Yeah, and again, this is something you've got to plan ahead for this, because you want to make sure if it's some kind of they were saying for the ladies, like, go do a spa-cation somewhere locally, and there's lots of places that have like an all-day spa treatment that normally would be unbelievably expensive and not affordable. Now it is. So you might want to go with a friend or send, your teenage daughter and her best friend, for a 5-hour nails and hair and all that kind of good stuff. Fred said that he can get a $59 one way to Phoenix and same to Long Island. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
Oh, Joni's right. This was one of my favorite trips we took the kids on when they were little. Fossil Rim. She said it's a great little trip for spring break for younger kids and bigger kids. I agree. I loved Fossil Rim. If you've got kids and you have not taken them there, love. That's a great trip.
So just be safe when you go out and about.
Please.
You might want to contact your local school to make sure that you are not also bound to quarantine if you leave the state.
Oh, you are correct, sir. I know Plano ISD still, the weekly things we get say that if you travel outside of the state, you've got the quarantine rule. That's a really good point. So make sure that it's one of those things your kid can come back if you've gone out of state, and that they are easy breezy able to do remote learning. And you would
Right.
want to plan for that in advance. I'm so glad you spoken like a truancy guy.
Right.
I mean, so there you go. Next week, we're going to highlight an article. JP and Dr. Nix, their company, was highlighted in an online magazine, and we'll get into that a little bit more when we talk more about truancy, because have we had a chance to talk with Senator Paxton about some of the things being proposed for truancy this time around?
No, I didn't really notice there's anything big out there.
Okay, so that was my next question.
No,
Is there anything really on the radar? Are they keeping this? I think at this point, school districts are so desperate to keep kids either online or in school, however they can keep them, because we've lost a lot of kids to the pandemic.
Right, and there was
Not lost their lives. We've lost them being a part of school because they've gone to work full time at Whataburger
Right.
or McDonald's or the mall or somewhere because their parents have lost income.
Right.
I mean, there's some real tough stories out there.
Right. There's a bill that hit that was filed by a state rep out of Austin. And
Yes.
I don't know anybody's a real big fan of this lady.
Okay, so not
Outside of her district.
not going to take any.
Well, I mean, where's the accountability?
Yeah, no, and there's so that
It's
never
a funding mechanism.
because I remember that made a big splash in the world of the education world. Those of us who follow that closely, but then all of a sudden you didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
It just didn't go anywhere.
I don't think it went anywhere.
Okay.
I think it's stuck in
There you go.
committee. So going on to some interesting news, right? We call it Freaky Friday for a reason. But this time I'm actually going to give you a story that is it'll touch your heartstrings. If I can
We
get
need that.
Well, if I can get it to play right.
We
Here's
love
the other
that.
thing. I mean, the computer's acting goofy now that it has all the downloads. So I'm going to try to play this for you. This is a story, and it's about
Well, it says, "Aw."
well, it's about a homeless woman.
Yeah.
And a TikTok user. So I'm going to ask you to just bear with me, and let's see if we can hear this.
Okay.
Open it up.
This?
Yeah. I got you an apartment. It's ready to go right now. I'm taking you.
Oh,
Yep.
oh you're crazy.
You're no longer homeless.
You're crazy.
Hey, 10 years,
Oh my
folks.
God.
I'm blindfolding you, okay? Are you ready?
10 years. She was homeless.
Yeah! I love it.
And you like it?
Yay! Oh my God.
I love this so much.
Yeah. And of course, we don't need the ad.
Here comes Greg with your.
But isn't that sweet? A TikTok user knew her, and she'd been homeless for 10 years, and he went and got her a fully furnished apartment that is hers, and she will no longer be homeless. And so, in the world of craziness right now, and in the world of people saying and doing crazy things, it's not your creed, your color, your culture, it's your humanity. And, the bottom line is that this young man recognized somebody who was struggling and had been forever. Hadn't had a hot shower in her own shower for 10 years.
She's been on the street. She hasn't had
Yeah.
a shower. I mean, things we take for granted. If you're a homeless person, you don't have that opportunity. And then how do you ever get a leg up, unless somebody helps you? And we've got so many people who are homeless on the street who have mental illness issues. And as a result of that, might have drug or alcohol dependency issues. And I just think that's such a shame in a country like this and this kind of stuff. God bless the lady who has a new home.
Yeah.
And God bless this young man. He I mean, he had a mask on, but looks like a fairly young man.
So,
but obviously had seen her for a while.
He's a TikTok user, Isaiah,
Okay.
and he's a fashion and jewelry designer and recording artist and entrepreneur who uses a portion of his brand sales to bring awareness and give back to families in
bless him.
need during
God
the
bless him.
pandemic, including the homeless and human trafficking survivors. Again, this is humanity.
That's that's the human spirit. That's what makes America great, are decent people like this. And you're right. The fact, JP, that we always hear all of these horrible things on social media, and there's so much hate, and everybody's so angry about everything. This guy's actually doing something about the issues instead of just getting out there and complaining about everything and retweeting and putting negative comments. He's actually putting his money where his mouth is, and God bless him for that.
Yeah. And so I just thought we have enough craziness, and I thought,
I love that.
A nice story where someone goes out and does something for somebody else. And again, like he says, he uses a part of his proceeds to help families that have been struck in the pandemic or homeless people.
Love that.
So
also, and it sounds
Isaiah, hats off to you, brother.
Yeah, Isaiah, God bless you. And if anybody's on TikTok, I'm not. My daughter sends me videos all the time, but from TikTok, but I'm not on it myself. If anybody follows him on TikTok, God, I'd love to get that guy on this show. My goodness, I would love to talk to somebody like that. Good for him.
And help him spread the good word.
Good for him. Good for him.
So when you're ordering online, you might want to be careful. Make sure you know what you're ordering, right?
Oh, this makes me nervous.
No, this should make you nervous.
Where are you going? I have no idea what JP's about to talk about, folks.
I think this woman thought she was getting some sexy leather pants. And instead,
what?
Yeah, this is in England. Her name is Ash, right? And so she took to TikTok after she finally could wrap her head around. If I can get this thing to settle in here. And here you go with this. Oh, enjoy it.
I would like to lodge a grievance because I ordered some trousers from you, and I've been having a mental breakdown for 3 days over them, and I now feel ready to talk about it.
This is funny.
I just would like to know, who the hell did you model these on? Was it the BF fucking G?
Oh,
also,
that was a bad word.
Whose body do these flatter? Because
those are her leather trousers that she ordered online on sale.
Are you fucking joking me?
Okay, there's a bad word again.
What?
Are those real pants? Or did she order like sizes
They
bigger?
No, they got a slit for the leg
so
too.
Is it good on it? What am I supposed to even wear this with? I know I shouldn't have ordered them, and I don't know who I think I was either. But are you winding me up? Are you?
I mean, it's
what the
Texas
heck are
area
those?
homeowners.
Yeah, those were leather pants. She thought she was buying a pair of white leather trousers, and she got them on sale.
Which is what they say instead of pants. I think they say trousers over in England.
Right, but they were on sale for £8, and so she thought, well, I'll get a pair of white leather pants to see how it looks.
That's kind of fun.
And that's what they sent her.
Yeah, not so much.
Oompa Loompa pants.
Yeah, not so much. That's like, I've never seen pants like that before.
Evidently, she didn't either. Hey, for 3 days, she couldn't leave the house. She couldn't answer phone calls.
She was transgressed.
Oh, big time, evidently. But yeah, I mean, so then you have that, right? I mean, that is just so funny. I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, I got to bring this up.
Okay, real quick.
So warning, as you go your Amazon crazy ordering, make sure you know what you're ordering.
I like to look at, like, I zoom, like, especially if it's something like a T-shirt or, some kind of something like that, something to wear. I always look at every single angle of it. If they give measurements out, I actually get my ruler out and go, okay, that would be about this size. Does that seem right or not, kind of a thing? Because some things aren't as they appear.
I think so. This is the store is called like Nasty Gal Leather, right?
Well,
or
first
something
of
like
all,
that. Nasty Gal.
Nasty Gal. That would have been like, I don't think so.
Yeah. So
the name would have turned me off.
So Nasty Gal, she orders these pants, but she actually contacted the company, and somebody actually modeled the pants for her.
Yes.
And then they sent her those.
Yeah.
So just again,
now,
beware.
hopefully she got her 8 pounds back. And maybe some more followers on the TikTok.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, bold and beautiful update.
Oh, goodness.
Because I wasn't here last Friday. So, okay, so when we last left off, we found out that, of course, like we thought, Steffi's baby was going to be Liam's and not Finn's, who she's in love with, who she wants to marry. But in the meantime, we have now found out that Thomas, who kissed the mannequin, who's in love with Hope, who had the fake Hope mannequin for a while, his best friend, who, get this, wait for it, is a drug dealer in LA, also has a job now at the lab, at the DNA lab at the hospital.
Oh.
First of all,
Oh.
if you're a drug dealer in LA, how do you all of a sudden jump to a job at a DNA lab at a hospital? So probably it's going to turn out that it's not Liam's baby after all and that it's Finn's, but it will probably take 6 months to a year to figure that out. Just saying. I was like, how is Vinny? Yeah, his name's Vinny on the show. How is Vinny, who's a drug dealer, who actually just accidentally overdosed Steffi before she got pregnant, before she went to rehab, how does he get a job as a person in a hospital lab?
Yeah.
Yeah, shaking my head on that. I was like, not even in soap opera world is that believable.
Not even in soap opera
And that's
world.
pretty bad.
That's way bad. So we're going to extend the show just a wee bit. So you're going to
Yes.
love this. How about you're in New York City, and behind your mirror,
And you run into Cuomo?
well,
Run,
whoa,
ladies, run. What? Was that my outside voice?
Yeah, how about you find a whole nother apartment?
What?
Yeah, listen to this.
Okay.
Watch this. Tell me this isn't Harry Potterish or a whole nother dimension.
Just the electrical.
Oh, no.
What?
There's a room back there.
There's a room. Whole nother apartment behind.
Somebody could have been living in there and stalking
The
them.
weird part about this is they didn't fill it out on either side of this hole.
Have you watched the movie Parasite?
The movie, what?
Anyway, it's
I don't know, but you love
I
the
have
music.
to go in and figure out what is on
She
the other
has to
side
go in. No, don't.
of my bathroom.
Don't.
She's going in.
How'd she figure that out?
I don't know.
Did she paint or something? Take the mirror down?
Probably.
Do you think my hips can fit through here? Okay, are you ready?
I really don't think.
Are you?
He's like, I really don't think you should do this. I agree.
Here
Whoever
she
said
goes.
don't do it. Oh, don't. Nope. Shut it down.
Let's see. Oh, did it give us part 3?
Oh,
it'll
man.
play here. It'll play here in 30 seconds. So we'll come back to. So can you imagine? Can you imagine?
That would freak you out so bad.
Yeah, that you pull your mirror down to paint or do something, and there's this hole with some electrical wires run, and you look back, and there's a whole nother New York apartment.
No.
Now, if it were me, and I'm in New York, and I know I'm already paying for I'm paying like $4,000 for like 800 square feet, and I just found me another 300 square feet, I'm knocking walls down. And I'm not telling anybody. No, we're not going to get to see number 3 go in. We'll have to
Oh,
figure
dang
it out.
that. Well, hey, follow. Do you follow that?
I'll have to go and see
Is
if
there
I
a
can
way
find
you
it.
can?
Well, wait a minute. Do we have part 3? Maybe this
Because
is
I
part
want
3.
I'm with whoever the guy was like, no, I don't think that's a good idea to go in there. I'm with that dude.
No, it's just a
This is
picture.
how every horror story starts off.
Yeah, well, you heard the music they were playing.
Yes, very appropriately so.
Oh, look at that. That's the pictures where she went in.
See, that would creep me out.
there's even a
Nope.
window.
Nope.
How do you like? There's a toilet right there.
So in the second apartment. So what did they?
This is the picture from the second apartment.
Did they configure it wrong? Did they go back later
Somebody
and update
walled
the
it.
apartments
Somebody
and then
walled
walled
it.
that in?
I wonder if somebody
Is there
died.
a reason? I was going to say, is there a reason somebody walled that in? Another reason not to go in, and another reason to get out of your lease.
Oh, check this out. As she was walking around the space, she saw signs of life. There were black bags filled with rubbish and water bottles sprawled around the place. Stairs down into the basement showed another door on the property, which she locked before back to her own flat, where she said the landlord is going to get a fun phone call tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is in New York. Yeah, how you like that? That's kind of fun. Fredo,
Nope.
what would you do about that, Fredo?
Nope. Shut it down.
Fred says that doesn't surprise me in New York.
He would know.
So
No, just nope, and nope.
So our feed is blowing up, and I want to read through some of the feed conversation from the crew.
Oh, yes. What do we
Coach
have going
Quigley says that when he and the fam, or when Mrs. Quigley and the fam went to Epcot, they went to the USA. And guess what? They recognize all the presidents except
yay.
for number 45.
Okay.
They go
wait,
from Obama
rewind.
to Biden.
Okay. See, okay, that was going to be my question. Well, maybe they just haven't done the wax figurine or the whatever they do for the presidents. Maybe they just haven't done that yet.
up.
Then if Biden's up, then somebody explain that to me. That makes me not want to go to Disney.
Yeah.
That makes me say, shut it down. Don't ever need to go there again.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's not good stuff. That's pretty bad.
I mean, here's
stuff.
the thing. Everybody has presidents they like, they don't like, all of that. I get that. You know, there's always, half the population's happy, half the population's ticked off. I get it. But again, why do you remove something from history?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So how do you like that?
Unbelievable.
This gets better.
Oh, he
And
said
this
his wife said that liberals are in control at Disney. And here's the thing. Disney shouldn't be a place where political statements are being made. That's
Right.
like an escapism for people where you go and you see your favorite characters and you see your favorite Disney princess and you live out your childhood fantasies, or you take your kids there and let them enjoy all the movies and books you've read over the years. It's not a place to be political.
Well, I don't remember Walt Disney ever making Disneyland or Disney World a political place, but everybody else has. How about this being political? So Coach Quigley also just found out that eBay just banned the resales of Dr. Seuss's books.
Oh, so if you're selling, like my brother, who this Pink Cloud, they'll be on at 10:30 this morning. He also has an eBay business. So if he were to get Dr. Seuss books in really good condition and want to sell them for a few bucks or whatever on eBay, he can't.
Yeah.
Since when are we telling business owners what they can sell and not sell as long as it doesn't hurt somebody?
Well, eBay can. They're a private company.
Well, yeah, that's
but I don't
true.
and here's the thing. I don't use eBay anyways. I think eBay is way overpriced, and it's become like a retail plus 10% kind of market. Here's what's even more disheartening than all of that. Last night, I find out from my uncle, who lives in Fresno, California, also a conservative, listens to the show, that Cardi B has the song of the year. Yay!
We talked about this particular song.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, back when we were at the old studio, you and I did a whole.
We talked about this song.
Oh, we did a whole.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, remember
this song, WAP.
Yes, we talked about how horrifically inappropriate it is.
I thought it was another song because Cardi B's pretty inappropriate.
No, we were like this. Even for Cardi B, this is outrageous. We could not even.
Well, I can't play
You can't play it. You can't read lyrics. It's extremely graphic, and I think, as a woman, I think extremely degrading to women. But it blew up on the charts.
Well, so much so that it was at number 1 for I can't remember how long, and became the song of the year for 2020.
There you go.
If that's just not something.
Oh, how fitting.
Yeah. And
for the year 2020.
Yeah. And what's really depressing is that there are some people picking it up and doing stuff. Well, like Dakota Fanning is in a bikini dancing to Cardi B's WAP.
No, not WAP. WAP, yeah.
Right.
And if you weren't in on this discussion when we talked about this, back when the song first came out, because I remember just being mortified, going, "This can't be real." And there's a video that goes with it that I can't get out of my head. Right. Things you can't unsee. Just so graphic, so disgusting. And again, I just find, for Cardi B, who's supposed to be, she was wanting to run for Congress and she's standing up for women's rights, and she's singing something that really is just disgustingly degrading towards women. And then all of a sudden, that's the best song of the year for folks? Who decided that?
Billboard.
Oh, my goodness.
And the listeners, I guess.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'm not playing the song. I'm not doing any of that stuff, but I'm going to put this up there. This is the billboards, and this is where, just so that you can see, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallions WAP debuts at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 with record first week streams, and it didn't slow down; it continued. So here's my issue with it. Right? Feel free to listen to whatever you want.
Yeah,
do whatever you
we cannot
want.
play it or say the
I
graphics
won't.
of what it is on
Well,
this.
I
yeah.
will not tell you what the WAP stands for.
Baby Yoda and the unicorn decided they couldn't even be part of the conversation.
Yeah. By August 7th, this thing drew 93 million U.S. streams in a week.
Unreal.
And so here's my: have we become so
crass?
Well, I'm not even going to say crass. Have we become so desperate for something to talk about, something to be entertained by, that we make this the number one song and we stream it over I think it's now hit over 300 million live streams.
See, that's why that song is the reason I didn't like it when Cardi B was in the commercial for Wayne's World, of the Super Bowl commercial, because I love Wayne and Garth. Party on, excellent. Love Wayne's World. I didn't like it because they brought Cardi B in on that, and it's because of that song.
Yeah. So look it up yourself. Look up what WAP stands for.
Amen, Coach. Forget Cardi B. Give me some Diana Ross and the Supremes. Yes, sir.
Well, and again, I'm nothing against hip hop, but
I love hip hop.
But this right here is out of control.
Oh, give me the Sugar Hill gang any day of the week.
This is nastier than any rapper I've heard.
Give me Salt and Peppa, and I'm going to go back, and I love them. I've signed up because whenever they come back through for a concert, I want them to actually be them. I want it to be Salt and Peppa, and then I want them to feature In Vogue, and I want them to be the halftime show next year. That would be phenomenal. And they and they were able to. They were edgy back in the day. I mean, push it. I mean, come on. They're edgy, but you can be edgy and you can push the envelope without being
pornographic.
Pornographic and degrading to women. I just felt like when I listened to that song and saw the lyrics, I was like, I just kind of felt, as a woman, I just felt like just dirty. It was just gross.
Well, this is extremely pornographic.
Yeah, I mean, it's horrible.
I mean, way graphic.
Yeah.
I mean, super graphic. Like, seriously.
Coach Quigley said, push it. Push it real good. Oh, yeah. Okay. I knew all the dance moves to that one back in the day. Just so. But again, you can be edgy without being disgusting.
Well, this is nasty.
It is. It just is.
But here's where my issue is.
That it's number one?
One, that it's number one. Number two, that it wins Song of the Year for 2020. And yet, we're going to eliminate Dr. Seuss from the shelves.
Yeah.
Because liberals embrace this. Somebody's got to help me out here. How do we get rid of Dr. Seuss? How is this song not so offensive that it offends across all realms, and far more than Dr. Seuss ever would?
Yeah, like
and we're removing Dr. Seuss.
Where are the people who are up in arms saying, "I don't want my seventh grade daughter memorizing the words to this"?
I mean, this song is bad.
And I was a fan of NWA, so I trust me. I've there's some rap groups that are on the edge that back in the day, I listened to, but this, it's just not right. And you're right. So then we've got everybody's mad about everything else, but then Cardi B gets a number one hit with something that, like you said, it's pornographic. It's nasty. It's just not right. It's disgusting.
Yeah, Coach Quigley says they're wanting to ban Grease.
Oh yeah, and that's Olivia Newton-John. I've got a whole article on her that we can talk about next week, where she's having to defend Grease, the movie, because people are saying, "Oh, well, it was sexist, and women we don't ever need to watch that again." I'm like, and she's like, "Hey, y'all, it was a movie done for fun in the 70s that was about the 50s. Get over yourselves."
Yeah. Well, and if Cardi B's isn't one of the most offensive to feminists, then I don't know what to tell you.
And that, and you're right. Where's the feminist anger at Cardi B for this song?
Yeah, I mean, because it's graphic.
Yeah.
Overly graphic.
Oh yeah.
You can't get any more graphic than what this is.
Because
last night my uncle read the lyrics to me. I'm like, wow.
Oh, just craziness.
Yeah, it's out of control.
Well, so everybody have big plans for the weekend. We've got Kilroy's Conversation tomorrow.
We do.
Super excited about that. This Pink Cloud after that. Kilroy's Conversation Saturday, Sunday morning. Ask Dr. Be Good. And boy, lots to talk. Are you our guest on Sunday's show?
Yes. I am her guest. I'm her featured guest. On Sunday.
There you go. So lots and lots
Tune
and
in.
lots to talk about. And then we'll be back Monday with Dr. Clothier. And we'll be very anxious to hear his thoughts on, a couple of days after we have him on next week will be the lifting of all the mandates here in the state of Texas. What are his thoughts as a medical doctor and as our medical expert on the show?
Absolutely.
So,
all right.
Have a blessed weekend.
A blessed weekend. Everybody be blessed.
Mwah.
Have a great time.
We love y'all.
We love y'all. Be safe out there and pass on something to somebody that you would not normally do. Maybe a hello or just a smile. You see somebody that's struggling a little bit, go out and get them a hamburger. Yeah. Drop them off a hamburger.
Show some love. Let's take after Isaiah. Was that his name? Isaiah on TikTok, who just gave a homeless woman an apartment. God bless him. So
God bless him.
We love y'all. See you to the crew
on Monday.
Give people a headache. We might as well do it right.
I don't want no half headache.
Banter. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what?
What's that?
We're late.
Hey, that's cool. That's the way I prefer it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not comfortable unless I'm a little late.
Fashionably late. Yeah. Correct?
That's what I told my boss, and he disagreed.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to This Pink Cloud, Season 2, Episode 8 is what we have figured out.
Season Deuce, Episode 8.
Right.
Morning, everybody.
Right. Sorry for the tardiness, but, we were having some... it was actually all Nolan's fault because...
I'll eat this one. Why not?
Yeah. Because it's always Nolan's fault, right?
What had happened was a cat was in a tree.
Yeah.
And I was helping, and there was a baby and a fire.
And then a fire, yeah. Of course.
There's
always got to be a fire. And a big car pile up. And
it's a long story.
Yeah,
but all you really need to know is that I'm the hero.
Yeah, and that you're here, and everybody's safe.
I'm okay.
Everybody's safe, right?
He said, I'm safe. He's like everyone. He's thinking about himself.
He's like,
I'm fine.
I'm here.
The people aren't concerned about everyone else.
Right. They're
trying to.
They're only concerned about
trying
the
to get
talent.
straight to the point.
We're only concerned about the professor.
He's over here like everyone's
as long
okay.
as the professor,
they're sweating. Go. What about Nolan?
As long as Nolan is okay and he has his little morning sippy cup with his coffee.
Yes.
Pinkies out, people. Pinkies.
Anyway, so you might. I noticed that you had a beautiful shirt on this morning.
Yeah, well, I had one on and it got ruined in the fire, so I had to get this crap out of the back of my trunk.
There you go. But it is a Lone Star shirt.
Yeah.
And they are available at djkellyreverb.com.
Really is a cool shirt.
And all proceeds go to This Pink Cloud and our lovely show here. And speaking of that, we have the new shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm actually wearing the prototype because, you got to be the cool guy and have the shirt before everybody else can get it.
He probably won't even release this shirt.
It's actually
so he can
the front of it. That's
the only one in existence.
There's the front of it. And here it is live.
That really is pretty cool.
So cool.
Oh, there we go. Left, right, left, and then the back. Yeah. Anyway, and then it has the This Pink Cloud logo on the back. If you want to show that,
that's such a good gym shirt.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Is it? It's a gym shirt.
Yeah, you sport that at the gym with the pill on a skateboard and rainbows and what?
I know, dude. Well,
you're turning heads.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be big in the community as well.
In
dude,
the community
with the rainbow. not only the recovery community, but the pill is a little bit phallic too.
Yeah. So, hey, you're not wrong. A little bit. Isn't everything a little bit phallic? Or is that just me?
I don't know.
I might need to look into that.
I don't know. As you say that with the microphone in front of your face.
Oh, is that what this is? I just assumed it was a phallic statue of some sort.
Right. Yeah, of course. When we all three got one.
Yeah.
We all three have a phallic statue award. So enough of our rhetoric.
I guess so, yeah.
Since
it's taken some weird turns.
Yeah, of course, as it as it has a tendency to.
Jim Bob disapproves.
Yeah, Jim Bob says.
Who is Jim Bob? Can I ask?
You can ask.
You can ask, but you won't know the Jim Bob until you experience the Jim Bob.
Okay.
No. Jim Bob is a guy that went to Summer Sky.
Yeah.
And he was actually after our
class.
After our class,
Our graduating
class. But then we got to be friends with him on IOP via Zoom. And he's just turned into my little higher power here.
Yeah,
he had a bobblehead, and I was like, well, I have to have one.
Yeah,
and he's he's a Texas gentleman.
Yes,
very Southern guy.
Good
large man.
Good
large
old
man.
It's so funny. He turned out to be as big as he was. I had no idea he was that big.
Right.
Like, you see him on Zoom. And I guess I just assumed.
He looks like this little old man, like hunchback. And then you see him, and he's like
6'3" or something. Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah,
so he's a real. Jim Bob is real and has a real.
He's a friend of ours in recovery. Is the short answer, but he's just a good old Texas
guy.
But
he has a bobblehead. Is the question?
Exactly.
And I celebrate the fact that he does.
Well, I think I think it was like some sales swag or something.
It was from one of his former jobs. But
yeah.
I'm the only one with one, and then Jim Bob's probably got about 50 at his house.
Yeah,
I love it.
Eventually, I'll get one out of him.
I think I'm going to get a friend for him, like the Bernie Sanders with the mittens in the chair. I think that's going to be next.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or get you a Scott Kelly one.
Yeah, well, dude, Scott Kelly, that would be good. Yeah.
You gotta,
Anybody out there with macrame and who knows who Scott Kelly is?
There's somebody on Etsy that can make one.
Right. Well, hey, while we're here, let's go ahead and plug. While we're talking about Summer Sky and all that good stuff, we might as well plug our sponsor, which is Summer Sky.
Yeah, this mysterious place we were talking about.
Right. It's where Nolan and I met.
Where we got sober
and fell in love.
Wow.
Wow. What's this a coming out party?
I didn't know we were at that level, but
I didn't know I was invited to the coming out
felt
party.
it for a while, and the tension needed to be. Anyways, it's a treatment center in Stephenville, Texas.
Right.
Inpatient treatment center.
And the address is right up there.
Yep. www.summersky.us for the website. Phone number's up there too.
And talk to Pat or
Pat,
or
also
Hi
known
Keisha.
as Patsy or Hi Keisha in admissions, but. Yeah, varying terms. I mean, they'll just work with you on anything, man. All they want to do is help.
Yeah,
so,
good people, good place.
You need a place to go, like a lot of us do, to get sober. Give them a call.
Cool. And speaking of that, our guest here.
Who is this? Oh, we do have a guest.
Yeah, exactly. It is the one, the only Anika Cooper. And she is with Simply Grace House. If you don't know who she is,
you're about to find out.
You're about to find out.
You're gonna learn
exactly.
Yes,
you're gonna learn
so basically, Anika, just in a nutshell, so you don't have to watch the rest of the episode. She started a 501(c), which is C3.
Yeah. C3.
Yeah,
P.O.
and it's a nonprofit.
It's made of
and it is fascinating, and I have thrift store envy because she has her own thrift store, which is
you have permanent thrift store envy.
Oh yeah.
That is the life.
I would just if I could run a thrift store and that's it. I mean,
you'd be hard to negotiate with though. That'd be the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think so. I'm
a little proud of my merchandise.
I think you'd run too hard a bargain on a lot of folks and run them off.
Scare them away. Yeah, you just got to be like, hey, numbers. Let's flip it.
You're like, no, that broken swatch from the 80s.
Well, hey, dude.
I started that way. I was like, I'm not coming down on my prices, and then it was like, it's a thrift store.
Right.
Let it go.
People are looking for a good deal.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
I have the Bill Weisner integrity from Bill's Records, so I'm I used to work at Bill's Records.
Yeah.
But anyway, so besides that, we'll get to all that excitement. But Anika is here, and she is going to be our first two-parter.
Two-parter.
Wow.
That is correct. Well, you've got a lot of fascinating stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
But I guess we can start off by just letting the folks know about you and your story. Like, I mean, basically where you went off the rails and when, you started to find recovery or what method you took and we'll just go with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, listen,
ladies and gentlemen,
the floor is yours.
Anika Cooper.
Yay! Thank you. Y'all are something else. So I got invited. I got invited to the coming out party.
Yeah.
And I'm the first two-parter. I feel super special today.
You should.
And you're a girl, so it's usually a sausage party. In there.
Is it?
Sausage
Most
fest?
of the time, I guess.
That's what my son
is.
calls it,
That's
a
fair.
sausage fest.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you for
But we are
allowing
here
me.
for the ladies because we all know and love ladies.
We do.
Well, thank you. Okay, this is getting awkward.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You go.
we'll move into my story. Thank you for asking me to do this. I love talking about the story and how, the transformation happened for me. I mean, the story of the drugs and alcohol is kind of the same as most people's, but
Sure.
I started about 14. I found alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
I had always, before that, my parents got divorced at a very early age. I always felt very uncomfortable in my own skin. I needed something outside of me to change the way that I felt.
Sure.
Whether that be, I didn't realize it at the time, but I had addictive personality way before I picked up alcohol or drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing, I would eat in excess. I would drink Dr. Pepper in excess, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but everything made me feel different. Like I needed something to make me feel different.
So were you more than 2, 4, and 10?
Yeah.
You were like 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10.
Yeah.
No, because that's
What does that mean? I don't know.
That,
I'm
you
just
don't
trying
know.
to go along
You don't
with
know
it, bro,
Dr. Pepper.
okay?
You don't know Dr. Pepper times 2, 4, and 10.
No.
Y'all have never heard that, Kathy.
No.
You know it.
Is it like an old ad campaign they used to
No,
run?
yeah, there were times of the day when you were supposed to have. When you were supposed to have Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
I got them all in there. I just said 2, 4, and 10. 10, 2, 4, whatever. So
Okay.
you're supposed to have one
I
at 10 in
gotcha.
the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and then 4 o'clock.
I
dude.
got you.
Oh, yeah, it was
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
I would just do like 6 or 7 at a time. I mean, I was like,
I know what you mean.
I'd just do a 2-liter, man.
I know what
Let's
you mean.
just-
Similar for me, it's like I wouldn't have verbalized it that way at the time. I mean, I was
Yeah.
a kid.
Oh, yeah.
But looking back on it, like when I would fall in love with like a sport, for example, it's all I would do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would wake up, immediately start playing that until like I had to be dragged to
Yeah.
bed. Everything was obsessive.
yeah,
Yeah.
everything was obsessive for me. It was over the top because I needed to change the way that I felt, which I had no idea at the time that I needed to change the way that I felt. But probably around, like I said, about 14 years old, me and my girlfriend, I was a cheerleader in high school. I was Miss Popular. I was voted Miss Popular every year. Like, that was never an issue for me, being social. But what I felt on the inside didn't match who I was on the outside ever, right?
Right.
So I went to my girlfriend's house one night. Her parents left. And we lived in the country in, like, off Saxey and Garland Road.
Okay.
And she had sheep. Well, she also had these little pink schnapp things, the little bottles of pink schnapp.
I thought we were going to go into a mushroom story.
Yeah, no.
I thought we were
that's
going
cows,
to
bro. That's
get sheep and
cows.
cows. And
No.
Okay.
No, but she offered me one, and I remember drinking it, and of course we drank all of it.
That was delicious.
Yeah, it was, and it was good, but it also
Yeah.
changed the way that I felt in a way
Sure.
that I had never experienced in my life. I was like, this is what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
Right.
And before I knew it, we were riding sheep in the backyard.
Awesome.
And yeah, I mean, it was great. It was amazing. And we drank all of it, and then we drank probably whatever else she had in there. And her parents realized it the next morning, and, you know, we had a hangover. And that was my first real experience with alcohol and changing the way that I felt completely. Like, it did something for me.
It replaced your Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I
right
replaced
at
my
that-
pizza,
at that point.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper, all of those things.
It's more effective. Than
Yeah,
the-
it worked real quick,
Yeah.
and I didn't like the after effect, but it didn't matter at that point because
No,
the
sure.
feeling at the moment was what I searched for.
The trade-off is worth it.
It was
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
Sure.
And then but then, I mean, and I get pretty graphic with my story, but after that was my stepdad had some videos, like VHS tapes, under a bar.
Mm-hmm.
This was, not at my friend's house, but at my house. And I looked at those and I put it in when my parents weren't home, and it was pornography.
Ah.
And that was at a pretty young age. And I realized that pornography also made me feel different.
Uh-huh.
And so I remember this like was crazy because I would be just like the drugs and alcohol. I would look out the window to see if they were on their way home so I could watch the pornography. Like, it was like this.
Sure.
It was the high of doing something that I knew I wasn't supposed to
right.
do. Right.
Yeah. I would have been like, oh, jackpot.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day.
And you know what's crazy, and I don't want to go too far off topic, but like, so what age was that? 14?
About 14, 15.
About 14.
Right.
You think about now with kids that have access to the internet, like if you got an 11-year-old at home that you just give an iPad to and let hang out in his room.
Oh, yeah,
with
it's insane.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 kids.
The early access to pornography with kids today concerns me a little bit too. But anyways, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, right.
That ain't even the show.
So I say all that to say that, like, you see, I was very uncomfortable in my own skin early. Like, I knew that I was uncomfortable in my own skin. There was stuff going on at home. My households were split. I had my dad's house. I had my mom's house. Stepdad, stepmom, stepsister, stepbrothers. I had all of that going.
Yeah.
But then I had high school where I was popular. I was, all of these things. And I got we started with alcohol, and it just led to, it led to more things. And it seemed like the harder the drug, or the different crowds that I sought after, were the different drugs, right? So if you were doing this particular drug, that's who I wanted to be around.
Yeah.
And I remember, I'll never forget, I started doing acid, and I took a hit of acid and went to school. And I walked in the school, and there was no one there, so I walked out of school.
Right.
And the principal was like, "So where are you going, Anika?" And I said, "Well, school's closed. Obviously, there's nobody here." He's like, "I need you to turn around and go back in there and go to school." It was completely full. But I had, I was like tripping on acid. So I started getting in trouble.
I can imagine this sounds like a Hillary Duff movie.
Dude,
she does have a little Hillary Duff vibe.
Oh my God, I hear it all the time.
School is the worst place to take acid.
Yeah, it was about, and I just didn't
Every
care
acid
anymore.
has done it at least once.
It was a bad life decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I left. I went to school for one period and then was like, nope, that's
too much.
This is not going to work. I'm out of here.
Yeah, you start seeing it it just got worse from there. So the inner unmanageability that I had felt pretty much my whole life started becoming outer unmanageability, right?
Right.
Everybody started noticing. And then I was a cheerleader, so I wanted to perform better than everyone else. I wanted to outshine. I always wanted attention. That hasn't changed. Like, I've always sought after attention. So I started taking no-dos. I found out that no-dos.
Oh, yeah, the old no-dos.
Mini Thins, baby.
Mini Thins, yes. Yes. Mini Thins and Purple Passion.
Right.
It was a great combo.
No, it is not.
Yeah, it was really bad.
It
was really bad.
It's delicious. No.
Only a 16-year-old body could handle that.
Yeah.
If I even attempted that now at 40.
Do they even have Purple Passion anymore?
I would just deteriorate.
I don't know. Ask my
turn
sister.
into dust.
Yeah,
no,
like
she just knows. They still have Boone's Farm. I know that.
No, Purple
they have
Passion.
a lot cooler stuff today than they ever had.
Purple Passion came in those
the
2 liters.
Yeah.
It was just purple soda mixed with Everclear.
Oh yeah,
horrible.
It was so bad.
You can't go wrong with that.
Oh, yeah.
So that went on. I did no-dos, Mini Thins, so that I could perform better at games. The list goes on and on. I started stealing from my parents. I stole credit cards. Went and bought, y'all are going to crack up, went and bought speaker systems and big tires. Rims, and I did all that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, did you have a truck, or did you have
I had a little bitty Honda.
Oh, like a Civic, or like a CRX,
I had a Civic.
or something?
It was a white Civic, I think.
Okay, nice.
I got the system. I played Easy-E, drink my Purple Passion. I became someone else. I hung out in.
So that's interesting. So you stole to get those things for yourself. It wasn't about to sell to acquire drugs or anything.
Nope,
It was just to keep
not,
a persona
I was not there.
going.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It was really, and you know what? It will bring me to my biggest point at the end, which is codependency.
Okay.
And trying to please my friends and trying to look like something that I wasn't, trying to be something that I never was on the inside. But because I wanted what you had, I was going to become what you wanted me to be. Right. So, I did all of that. I remember moments in high school. These are pivotal moments for me. In high school, I had acne really, really bad.
Okay.
Right? And so I remember hearing, you would be so pretty if you didn't have all that stuff all over your face.
Ah, that's always got to be a morale booster.
It was like ouch.
Thanks.
Because I couldn't do anything about it.
Sure.
So I was like, okay. So I would wake up and my face would be purple. I remember I didn't want to look in the mirror.
Right.
There was just a lot of things that I remember that I didn't realize were traumatizing for me at the moment.
Sure.
Some people might not have ever taken that as traumatizing.
Well, I mean, that's just traumatizing as a kid to have acne. I mean, that's just period.
Well, and that weird, part of your life where you're so uncomfortable in your own skin, that teenage part of your life. Yeah, it's weird. You latch onto these, one person told you that one time.
I heard it loud and clear.
Oh, yeah. You latched on, and then you just had that replay in your head. Every day you woke up, and you just had to deal with that. Yeah.
Well, then, growing up, it was about my looks and what did I do? And it was all about what did I do, right? So even, as much as my mom helped me it was like, oh, your hair, you need to fix your hair. You need to do this. Like, it was always about, you really didn't have to have worthy. You didn't have to be worthy on the inside as long as you looked the part.
As long as you were presentable and
Yeah, so I never really had to worry about that part of it, right? So it was just a lot.
How good of a student were you?
C. I was absolutely a C student.
Cool.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
It was.
I didn't know if you were one of those people that could just be a total F up and then just
it goes one or the other, one or two ways. Yeah.
Right.
No, I absolutely was a C in high school, but then when I went to college after getting sober, I graduated summa cum laude.
Oh,
so
nice.
it was like
I was reading
sobriety does something to you. I don't know.
Clears up a few things.
Gives those brain cells a chance to breathe, maybe. Yeah.
So change the priorities a little bit.
Yeah. So there was a lot of different things that happened. I barely graduated high school. Barely.
Did you do the work program too? Like towards the end?
No.
I did that because I was like, I could go AP or do the work program.
Program.
I'll go work program.
No, I didn't work. Working was not something I was interested in.
Right. Yeah.
So
I was interested in Purple Drink and listening to Eazy-E.
Eazy-E with my music, like the thing vibrating, right?
Right.
And being let me tell you. So this started in high school. I started hanging out with a gang over in Garland, and I didn't look like anybody that I was hanging out with, so I stuck out like a sore thumb.
Sure.
Right.
And I would be drunk in their little neighborhood, and the police would drive by and be like, "Oh my God, I need to go again." So I have several PIs. I was in jail all the time. I just didn't look like I wanted to fit in somewhere, and I just couldn't figure it out. Right? I was never comfortable in my own skin. Well, I did all kinds of drugs and alcohol in high school. I barely graduated. Well, when I got out of high school, I started dating this guy. I did start working out of high school. And
were you working at Express?
Nope. I was working at a car dealership. I was always the front desk person.
Oh, okay.
Wherever I worked. So I worked at a car dealership, and I met a guy, and I was already into drugs and alcohol, but I started noticing that and I tried to go to college right away. I went to a community college.
A little Richland, or where'd you go?
I went to Eastfield.
Oh, Eastfield.
Yeah,
okay.
or El Centro. I'm sorry. El Centro.
El Centro. Okay.
And that lasted about a month because it got in the way of my using.
Sure, of course.
And so
nobody was holding you accountable for going to the classes. I discovered that as well. I was like,
it's really a flaw in the college system.
You don't you mean you don't have to show up?
Yeah.
You mean they don't call your parents?
No, they already got your money. They're good.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, cool.
No. So when I graduated, I started working. I quickly stopped going to college, and I started working at this car dealership where I met a guy who, he started taking my car and being gone for like several days at a time, and I was like, what is happening
That's
here?
not sketch.
I thought he was just maybe cheating, or just I didn't know what was going on.
Maybe cheating, just something honest, like maybe cheating. Right?
Like it's not really that big of a deal.
Sure.
Well, then I started noticing his mouth move. Like, I just started noticing some things, and come to find out he was smoking crack. And I never smoked crack, but I started doing primos and then started selling crack.
And primos are, just for the layman terms.
Oh, sorry.
No, would you like to jump in, Nolan?
No, this is her story.
Go ahead.
Define the primos.
Primo is heroin. I mean, not heroin. It's crack and marijuana, and I would smoke it. because I didn't like the way that his mouth moved. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to, like, he would do this whole thing smoking regular crack. So I was going to dumb it down a little bit and do Primos.
Just so I didn't get the mouth tics.
And you know what? It's the same thing. But you can tell yourself it's different because Primos are like in rap songs. And, you know, that's
well, it
different.
didn't hit as hard.
I'm smoking Primos instead of I'm smoking crack.
Yeah.
But you're just putting it in marijuana.
Yeah, exactly. So that was happening. I started, and it all, like, when I look back, guys, I mean, after being sober for a very long time, looking back, it was all based on my codependency, like selling crack, like driving around with trunkfuls of crack, taking it to all these sketch neighborhoods. It was all to please somebody. Right? It wasn't. It was all to make somebody else happy and like me. Like, just like me. Just love me. Just love me. Right?
Sure.
So I started doing that. And at one point, one of my family members, my brother, which everyone knows this, brought some cocaine over to my apartment.
Okay.
And this is where it took off. This is where my addiction, I was 17, and my addiction, like, flew off the rails.
Right.
I remember doing some coke, and I remember the feeling of I will never not feel like this again in my life. Ever.
It had you hooked. Like, was it like the first time,
time.
It was just instantaneous.
It was instantaneous, and quickly after that, and my brother and I used together, and there's a whole story behind that, but quickly after that, I was introduced to meth. Which at the time was called crank.
A much cheaper alternative to cocaine.
And lasted way longer.
Sure.
So we found out that it helped you sexually. And so we would, as a couple, it was like this sexual thing on the weekends.
Sure.
Well, he stopped doing it, and I couldn't stop. I mean, It was the other stuff I was able to, like, kind of dabble with it. And I mean, it was a constant thing, but it wasn't anything where there was one thing that I had to have all the time, right? It hadn't, that obsession for one particular drug hadn't kicked in. So once I found meth, he would stop doing it. I couldn't. Every job I had, I lost. I remember this is where it started, getting to the point where it was bad. I would have envelopes where I would put my money, some of my money from my paycheck in that envelope, and be like, we have to pay bills with this money.
Right.
We have to. Before, I would go get some meth, and before I knew, not even 12 hours later, I was going into that envelope, your envelope, his envelope, their stuff, yours.
But hey, at least you were organized about it.
Yeah.
You had envelopes.
I'm not even, and that's the thing is I'm like the least organized person in the world. So people that know me are like, you were trying to, like, be organized with it?
Well, and it's so crazy because at the time when you're making that envelope and setting that money aside, you 100% believe.
You believe
this
with all
is
your
for
heart.
bills. I'm not touching this.
Not touching it.
And I don't care how many times you go and back into that envelope and get the money out. It could be 100, 500 times. Every time when you make that envelope, you believe you're not going to mess with it. It's the delusion behind addiction is so crazy.
It is insane.
Yeah.
And
I also thought you had your thriving side business going on, selling crack out of your trunk.
I didn't make any money. I told you it was for someone
else. It was just enough.
It was to provide what we needed.
Sure.
And I mean, I didn't make any money. I totally everything that I did. And as my story
you didn't listen to
progresses,
Eazy-E then.
No, I was
said,
not
Don't
listening.
get high on your own supply.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's actually harder to make money selling drugs than you think.
Yeah.
It really is.
I had zero desire to make the money.
For one, it helps to not be an addict.
Right.
Like if you're an addict,
you're done.
I don't think you're going to make any money.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it beats the alternative at the time of, selling my body for it, right?
Sure.
So it worked out, and I was, it just was, I look back and it was only by the grace of God, like, seriously, that I'm even alive. But anyways, so the meth, I started doing the envelope thing. That was a big thing for me. And then I was like, okay, so it was only on Fridays and Saturdays for a while. Fridays, we would do them, and then it would last, Well, then I was like, okay, this is not working because I'm doing it all the way until Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. So what I'm going to do is we're only going to do Saturday nights. It never, ever worked. And I remember by the end of the meth use, I had zero furniture in my apartment. Boyfriend got kicked out because I needed to move my supplier in. We had the door was off the hinges because we would lock ourselves out. It was just like the thought of it and like even talking about it, like,
yeah,
it's very emotional.
Yeah,
for me because
sure.
It was such a dark place that I remember. Like we would be out in the pool, like in these apartments. It was these apartments off La Prada Lane in Garland, off 635 with the big windows. I remember. I would sit on the sidewalk, like the curb, for hours, y'all. Hours watching cars go on 635, right? And I would see people with their little briefcases. They were so cute, leaving at 6 a.m., like going to do this thing that I just didn't understand. It was light outside. I hated the light.
Yeah.
When it went from the dark to the light, it was like this impending doom feeling.
It was like the roach you need to crawl back under.
It was like,
kind of.
Yeah.
That's how you feel.
Yeah.
And the girl who would supply me, she moved in and she started, like, she had been doing it for a lot longer, so she could eat while she was using meth. I couldn't eat.
Wow.
But she would also be able to talk to people on it. And which for me, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk about real life, like, let's party, let's do all that.
Sure.
But she would call her mom every time we had just gotten high, and she would call her mom. I was like, and like looking back, I realized, like, I was using to escape all reality.
Mm-hmm.
All reality.
Sure.
Don't talk about your mother. Don't talk about like real life stuff. So eventually I just started getting high by myself. I was like, I can't,
yeah.
you know, but I would let the people come over because
they had the drugs.
They had the drugs, right? And I didn't want to have to do anything to get the drugs. So I didn't work. And the crowds completely changed, right? The people I hung out with. The people that I hung out with did not have jobs.
Right.
Like we literally just used.
Your job was?
My job was
crack.
to use meth.
Yeah.
Well, it was meth. Yeah. And so the meth use got to the point where one of my turning points was my grandmother came over for my birthday. And I wouldn't really let my family come over because I just didn't want to deal with it. And I mean, I was a shell of a human being. I like literally had nothing on the inside. I was just doing, but let me just throw this out there. I thought I looked amazing at 85 pounds. I thought 85 pounds, I'm killing it. Short, I had holes in my skin, holes in my arm. I mean, I had holes because there were bugs all over me. I had to get them out.
We could spend time talking about that. That is a lot of times in recovery, they talk about the men stick with the men and the women stick with the women. And that is a big reason why there's this crazy delusion in, females, especially stimulants, that, when they get down to that crazy low weight, they look great.
Yeah.
And then when they get sober, obviously you're not going to stay at 85 pounds because your body's not supposed to be there.
And then they start the eating disorder.
And they start eating disorders or relapsing and things like that. Like, I'm 110 pounds, I'm fat.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bad deal. It's a it's a bad deal.
It gets but I really thought I looked good, and so I also thought I was a newscaster, just to throw that back then. So I would walk around with a fake microphone as we were getting high, and I would talk about the weather, and I would talk about what's going on.
Yes, dude.
And my friends are like, "What in the world?" I mean, and there were people following me. There were, in my mind, there were cops everywhere
the shadow
following
people,
me.
or
no cops.
Okay, cops. Okay.
And I came to find out, like about 10 years after I got sober, I found out that everybody in my apartment, the week after my whole story turned around, we did get raided.
Oh, wow.
And we got in a lot of trouble. Yeah, it was, I'm telling you. So my grandmother wanted to take me to dinner for my birthday. I had no time to go to dinner, so I allowed her to take me to Burger King. And a pivotal moment for me was my 75-year-old grandmother having to walk me up the stairs because I was so weak. And so, and I had to hurry her up. I'm like, hurry. And this is a woman, y'all, who was my life. It's who Simply Grace is named after. She was my life, but I cut her off. I was like, I had no humanity anymore. I was an animal,
Right.
I was literally an animal. So I had been up for 2 weeks. I smoked some weed to try to come down so that I could be up for my birthday because I knew I couldn't last anymore because I had started getting cramping, or what it's called when I had started anyways.
Yeah.
So I smoked some weed, passed out in the bathroom. I had locked the door. They had to break the door down. My supplier had broken the door down, and when I woke up on my birthday, the day before my birthday.
What birthday was this?
August 7th.
No, but
my 19th birthday.
Oh, 19th.
Yeah,
okay.
it was my 19th birthday, and I woke up and asked him to give me more after I had passed out and almost died, and he's like, I can't.
Right.
I can't do this
Sure.
anymore. And so my car that I had, this is funny because the car that I had didn't start anymore unless it was an automatic. I mean, it was a stick shift.
Oh, unless
so
you
I had
pushed
to roll
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm like 85 pounds rolling this thing down because I needed to get to my grandmother's because that was my safe haven.
Using the
the
Flintstones.
Flintstone.
sled.
I was like
Right
this,
there.
Yeah,
like
then
trying to get
pop,
it.
Pop the clutch.
Yep.
And the reason I say that is because when I got the car, it was beautiful. It was, my inner unmanageability hadn't hit it yet, right?
Oh, yeah.
Cars can die from addiction, too.
They absolutely die from it. Like the broken windshield. I mean, it was all, you could tell. You could see the disease of addiction all over it.
You could see the meth.
Yes.
Methiness,
Registration
the
sticker out.
Oh,
I mean,
all of it.
that. Yeah.
All of it. So I make it to my grandmother's.
There had to be at least a rear view mirror removed.
It was hanging. With tape.
Yeah.
It was taped.
Oh, well, of course.
I'll
duct
tell you.
tape. Yeah.
I'll tell you. I had a car. I had a car that had. I bought it from a friend, and the day before I bought it from a friend, someone tried to steal the stereo out of it. That was just coincidence. That actually had nothing to do with the crazy unmanageability that was my life. That was just coincidence. But they tried to steal the stereo out of it, couldn't, but blew some fuses and stuff in it or whatever, and had broken a window. And money goes to drugs, not fixing cars.
Right.
So I had to jump this car every time I started it, and it had no window for a little while and had gotten rained in and was mildew smell.
Perfect.
It smelled so bad. This is how bad it smelled. At the time, I would go and hang out with the homeless, a couple homeless folks in Austin, and we would do drugs all day or whatever. Yeah. And these are proper homeless people. They don't shower or anything or whatever. And the second he got in the car, he was like, "Bro, it stinks in here." So yeah, when an 80-pound homeless guy named Oscar tells you you stink.
Yeah.
You got problems, bro.
Yeah, your car is past the point of return.
Yeah,
Old Mazda Protege. I ended up just leaving it in some apartment complex.
Just abandoned.
Whatever. It's not worth anything.
Yeah, I don't even
Just
remember
leave
what
the
happened to
keys
mine.
on top or in the ignition. Why not?
But yeah,
I'm out.
Sorry, go
That's
ahead.
okay. No,
Yeah,
I love it.
know.
It's good for me. It reminds me of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I went to grandma's house to get revived or whatever, take a quick shower, go back to doing what I was doing, which now is it was my very first Simply Grace house. So the place where I found refuge is the same place that
Awesome.
a lot of the women
That's
awesome. Wow.
Simply Grace.
So you actually purchased your grandmother's house, or?
It's a long story. No, I lease it from my dad.
Okay.
It's a
I
long.
gotcha.
I didn't even know that was the house I was going to use when I opened Simply Grace. I had no idea. It took a year and a half later. So I went to my grandmother's house to get some rest. They asked me if I wanted food, blah, blah, blah. So I did that.
Yeah.
And my mom called me during that time and said, "Do you want to go eat or shopping for your birthday?" Because they knew that was the only way that I was going to be willing to
Yeah, they got to
hang
give
out
you
with them.
something.
To
Yeah, 'cause I was
participate.
bought
Yeah,
stuff.
you had to.
Yeah, it's messed
you had
up.
to be bribed.
It's messed up. But
Yeah,
they
of
know
course.
it.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got
So I said, okay, I'll go shopping with you, but before I go back to doing what I'm doing, I'll go shopping with you. So we go to eat at this Mexican restaurant off of Ferguson and 30.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
And I forgot the name of it, but it was where my dad's landscaping company
El
was.
Chico?
No. It wasn't It
It's
was
over
a
by my
family.
grandmother's
okay.
house.
Yes,
It's right over
that's
by
where
there.
my grandmother and aunt live.
Oh, really?
It's in Lake Highlands.
Yeah.
Yep, that's where I grew up.
He's in
I live in
Highlands.
Lake Highlands.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that area so much. That's where my first house is. So we went to go eat, and it was me and my mom and my stepdad, and we're talking, and I said, okay, let's go to the mall. So before I know it, we're pulling up, but it was a big building for sure, but it definitely was not a mall. It was Timberlawn Psychiatric Hospital down the street.
The
off
old
Samuel.
switcheroo there.
So I jumped out of the car like any normal person would do.
Time to run.
Yeah, so I jumped out of the car as it was rolling, or as they were driving, and my stepdad went and picked me up like a little ant, like, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
By
Yeah,
the way,
like,
85
you're not-
pound young lady.
Yeah, we're not doing this. So I said, okay, I'll go in and do the evaluation, but they're going to tell you that I clearly have no
No issues
problems
here. There's no
I mean, maybe I'm doing a little too much meth, but the marijuana and all, that's not a problem.
Sure.
The whole, the thing. And I believed it, y'all. I believed that with all my heart, that I did not have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I go in to do the whatever you want to call it, the assessment. And sure enough, I don't know how they figured out, or they came to this conclusion that I needed to stay and I had a problem, whatever. But they did, and I ended up being in there for a few days. The biggest part, you guys, which takes me back to my codependency, was that I had to leave boyfriend who I knew was going to cheat on me. He was in the world alone without me.
Right.
And he had time to cheat on me, and I'm in treatment. Like, I can't check on him every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that was
not,
a big, like...
If you're not watching boyfriend cheats.
Boyfriend
Everybody
cheats.
knows that.
Yeah, right?
Everyone cheats. Like, especially, I mean, of course they do, because I'm dating married men. Like,
sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, anyways, that was a big thing for me. A couple days into it, I, told my mom that I hated her. I said, I hate you. I think that you're the worst person in the world. And something that she said to me, I'll never forget, and I tell it every time I tell my story, is she said, I'd rather you hate me than to watch you die. And you're dying right now.
Sure.
And so thank God for that. I thank God for her strength every day. And that's why I tell people.
You were still in just total denial.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, you were like,
I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
I think you're an idiot.
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell people today, like, I'll have people call me and be like, well, they're not ready. They're not ready yet. So I'm not going to put them in treatment.
Right.
That is not my story. I was not ready to go into treatment. I had zero desire, did not even think I had a problem. Addiction was the furthest thing from my mind. I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
This is just what teenagers do.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been sober for 25 years. So that's a lie. That someone has to be ready.
Yeah.
Is that sometimes the case? Absolutely. Is it the only case? No.
No.
Yeah, there are stubborn people, and I understand that mentality. I really, really do. But at the heart of it, this is life or death in a lot of cases. And I mean, is this a disease or not? If it's a disease, then that person has it. How they feel about it doesn't matter.
Right.
Let's get them some help and hope for the best. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't do that with someone that is dying of cancer.
Yeah,
you wouldn't
say,
be
well,
like,
they're not ready.
Well, it's only
they're
stage
not
2.
ready. Yeah.
It's only stage 2,
Wait
and they
till
don't
get
really
to
want to mess with the treatment
stage 4,
right
and
now.
then
So.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love how you worded that. That is amazing. And so I tell people all the time, no, that's not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, well, let me say, it's not my truth.
Mm-hmm.
Had my mom been like, well, let's just give her some more time.
Well, I mean, your situation is kind of similar, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think I had a problem. It was everybody else's problem.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was good at what I did. Just the whole passing out and, maybe possibly stop breathing thing.
Yeah,
and,
sure, there's a couple wrong turns. I mean,
in
a couple
the,
instances.
But that's
taking,
tiny in the big scheme of things, right?
Yeah, taking insulin for diabetes that I've caused, I mean, I got this, man. Yeah, but no, I can totally relate to that because I wasn't ready. And even when I went into rehab, it was just like, okay, I'm kind of doing this not really for myself. And then, but it was amazing, that window of clarity, the 30 days that I had, that changed my mind. But I'm also 50 years old, so it's a little bit different than a 19-year-old mind.
Yes, yeah, it can be. Yeah.
That's part of the story that I always tell too. Is I'm sitting in this detox with people who are in their 50s and 60s. You know,
sure.
One of them was a very large DJ, a very large news person.
Oh, okay.
Very.
And you were the newscaster.
And I was, I was a little jealous.
Were you trying out?
Yeah, I should have.
Hey, by the way.
I think I had forgotten about it by then.
It's sunny outside.
I've been working on my newscast. Let me show you.
So, unfortunately, he ended up passing away of alcoholism. But what I remember clear as day, and I had no belief in God. Let me be real clear. I did not believe in God, did not think there was anything bigger than me. I just didn't care, right?
Yeah.
Now I know way different. But while I was in there, I remember clear as day being like, what in the world are these? Because these people were in their 50s, 40s, and this was like their 10th, 15th, 20th time in this process. And I remember thinking, Jesus, I do not want to be here at 50 years old. And I just remember that thought. I still wasn't like convinced. I started having like withdrawals. I started craving a
Sure,
lot. I started,
sure.
and I was like, well, this is weird. So I started a lot of different things. I started noticing that, okay, there might be some issues here.
Sure.
Well, then I got out. They told me it was time to go after 7 days. My
Right.
insurance cut out. So at 19,
Only
so you only had 7 days.
Wow.
7 days.
They didn't
in
even
detox.
give you the full detox. You just got
No,
7.
7 days. They were like, your insurance is out.
Wow.
But this counselor was like, I think you need to try this sober living thing called Oxford.
Okay, great.
All right.
And
which they're still
I was
around.
like, I am not. Oh yeah, I was like, I'm not. Boyfriend cannot be without me.
Yeah.
It's already been
it's-
7 days.
This is 7 days. It's been a long time. But let me tell you, I met my other husband in rehab.
Yeah,
like
sure.
never got married, but he was my boyfriend, even though I had a boyfriend out here. So he was my rehab romance. We continued that for a little while.
Yeah.
So I went to Oxford.
Mm-hmm.
And what I didn't tell you guys, which I think is very important for anybody listening to this, I had an abortion with this guy
Mm-hmm.
right when my disease, so I was telling y'all about the meth took off.
Mm-hmm.
It was right after that.
Mm-hmm.
I had an abortion because I was pretty much told that if I didn't, I would be cut off completely. And I had to go through the whole process of seeing the screen, and I had to see all this stuff. And it was, for an 18-year-old, it was extremely, extremely traumatic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course.
So the meth use went at an all-time high. But when I went into this Oxford house, I sat down. I was 19 years old. First of all, they denied me. They said, she's too young. She's never going to make it. We're not
Right.
going to be able to. We've got other people. And my mom called him back and was like, you have to let her in.
Mm-hmm.
They let me in. They had their like weekly meeting, and we were sitting there, and they all shared, and they were like, you want to share? And I remember just like bawling and saying and telling him I had an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it just came out.
Right.
And I just remember being this scared little girl that was like, what am I doing here? Because everybody in this house was like in their 40s, 30s,
Yeah.
40s.
You're with a bunch of old people.
Yeah. And here I am, like,
Yeah.
there's no way I was going to do this.
Sure.
And I remember, like it was yesterday, the moment where I was like, I told them all I had an abortion, and they were like, well, we did too. Like some of them were like, I did too, but they were
Sure.
they were sober. So
Right.
I was super, like I felt that aha moment of I belong somewhere.
Right.
And so that's when it started. That's when it really, I stayed in the sober living. Do we need to?
No, you're good.
That's when I started. They told me I had to go to meetings. They told me I had to do all this stuff. And so I started doing all these things.
Sure.
And I stayed with boyfriend, which was a bad idea. But I mean, it is what it is.
Sure.
But I was with all these people, and they
This boyfriend being original boyfriend
That I had
or
the-
rehab boyfriend?
no, the original boyfriend that we had. He smoked crack and
I'm
took
gonna
my
need
car.
I'm gonna need a flow chart of all the boyfriends.
Oh, you just wait. It gets,
I'm sure it does. That's why it's a two-parter, folks.
Yes.
That's why it's a two-parter.
Yeah.
But that's obviously not a good idea for a million reasons. But so you were staying at the Oxford house and with him, sort of back and forth kind of
yeah,
thing.
and so he moved in. He's an addict as well, so he moved into the Oxford house that was on the same street as mine. Because what else would we do?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you need to have
You guys
him
gonna
close
get sober
by.
together
Yeah,
and stay
exactly.
sober
We're
forever
gonna
and
get
ever?
sober. Yeah,
We're
he
gonna
didn't,
get sober
I did.
together. I love her so
Yeah.
much.
Well,
Yeah,
at least
But you
one
know
of you
what? I did, and
Yeah.
he finally did. He's been sober probably for, like, I've been sober 25 years. He's been sober probably 15 years now.
did. Yeah,
Oh,
great.
good.
Because he started in that process of being introduced. You know, people.
Yes.
I
yes.
assume now that everybody knows about the 12 steps or whatever they're.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, They don't. People don't know about that there is help out there. They think this is the only way of life.
Right. Well, I know you said, I mean, I could hear your story all day, but I mean, I guess, let's see, what are we doing on
We
time?
got about 10 minutes.
We got about 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what,
Guide me.
let's put your story on pause
Okay.
right there, the cliffhanger, and then let's talk about what you have going on with Recovery's Got Talent.
Yeah.
And we'll just touch a little bit on Simply Grace. But, okay, so Recovery's Got Talent
Well,
is...
before
go
we
ahead.
jump in, just
Yeah.
real quick, I just
Sure.
want to say, awesome. You know, I love hearing anybody's story. It's a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of fun, and I relate to it on a lot of levels. And what you were about to get into, I think, is super critical. Just like introducing people to it, like just that simple part of introducing people to it. I go back to when I was first introduced to this, like that. it's been a gradual process of changes for me, right? But that just initial introduction to recovery changed me. The longer that I'm alive, the more I realize how much it changed me right there. That initial just like attraction. And that's what it was. I was like, wow, there's another way to do this thing called life.
Yeah.
Other than like try and chase happiness and hold on to it as tight as I can. And then that's how I get okay. Yeah. Like, I think that was just the mentality I had forever. And I was introduced to another way. And I mean, everything's been different since then. But yeah, no matter what, whenever you're trying to help somebody, always understand you're at least planting a seed.
Planting a seed.
Yeah.
Those things take root.
The result is not yours. The result is not left up to you.
Those things take root. But really, so thank you for sharing what you have. I can't wait to hear the second part of it. So I just wanted to say that. But
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing that you have a stinky car. Or you had a stinky car that a homeless.
I had a stinky Mazda Protege that got left in.
That a homeless man named Oscar, did not want to go in it.
Even Oscar.
He felt violated by being in your presence.
Yes.
Oscar was like, ew.
I was worse off than Oscar that day, and I knew it, and it was not a good feeling.
Yeah.
And that car got left, and I left all my clothes in the trunk too, because I was just
all your
like,
good clothes.
All my clothes,
about
period.
Clothes?
Well, it was clear I was about to be homeless again,
right?
In a new city.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I just, all my clothes were in the trunk, and I wasn't gonna carry them around or anything.
Sure.
So I just whatever, dude. Lost the girlfriend.
You didn't
the
do
car
the
and the
hold
clothes
on. You
can
didn't
go with it.
You
I'm
didn't
gonna
hold
go.
on. You didn't do the rehab suitcase, the trash bag.
Oh, I've done that before
the rehab
too.
suitcase.
I've done, but no, not at the time. No.
Well, it's usually like for the girls that come in, they're just like little grocery bags.
I don't think
have
so.
a whole trash bag.
It's hard to remember. I might have done a trash bag of what I could,
right?
But I don't think so, man. I think I just left it in that apartment complex and just walked away. And I walked a lot that night. That was a bad night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, that was whatever. I have no use for any of it. It's
okay.
time to
Well,
just,
okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear about that story too.
Okay.
But I want to
day.
hear about because you were getting ready to really go deep. But
sure,
I want to talk about it a little something.
Let's
positive.
talk about the real stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have something called Recovery's Got Talent.
Yes.
That you do in conjunction or as a part of Simply Grace House, which is. Why don't you just tell them what Simply Grace is about?
So Simply Grace is a nonprofit organization of sober living homes. We've got an intensive outpatient program. We have a thrift store. It's really a community, Kelly.
Sure.
It's like an entire community. But what Simply Grace is, somebody called and is looking for a high accountability sober living,
right?
That's low cost. Then Simply Grace is a perfect fit. I believe in, and I'll tell y'all the whole story next time about spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical.
Sure.
Like being in sober living. There were some things about Oxford House that I felt like needed to be different. And so that's kind of where the concept of Simply Grace came from.
Well, sure,
but I wanted people to be able to afford it. So like we're only $840 a month, but we offer a lot of stuff, right?
Sure.
So we offer high accountability, high structure. Whereas what I'm doing, most places are charging at least $1,500 to $5,000.
Sure.
So I wanted people that only made minimum wage to be able to afford us.
Oh yeah,
because that's the
people without
I
insurance and fun stuff like that.
I think that's the spectrum.
Yeah,
accountability and cost, right?
Yeah,
there are high cost, low accountability joints if you just want a little break.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
So well, and so we don't allow men in any of our homes because that was, with me having codependency and love addiction.
Sure.
The boyfriends could spend the night at Oxford or they could come over and you got other girls wearing little tiny clothes around. And then all these issues, you're no longer safe.
Yeah.
Right? You're not in a safe place. You feel like, oh God, do I come home?
Somebody's creepy boyfriend is over there macking on you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you and the girl are fighting, whereas y'all could have a spiritual experience together, but you can't because that blockage.
Y'all could have a sisterhood.
Yeah. So it's so Simply Grace is basically high accountability, low cost for people coming out of treatment or with 7 days sober. I really don't do just the 7 days sober with no treatment if they're on shooting up heroin. That's a scary thing for me. It needs to be. But if they just call us and whether they've been to treatment 20 times.
We're always discriminated against.
It's scary.
You're 100% right.
I mean, it's a scary thing.
There's a reason it has such a high relapse rate.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult
and
one
it goes with, and I'll tell you another thing it goes with, which is I'm about to bring on a whole nother level of codependency work at Simply Grace, is when I'm telling you, when they've got a boyfriend that they've been shooting up dope with, and the boyfriend is anywhere near, they are back out shooting dope with the boyfriend.
It's trigger city.
I'm telling
trigger
you,
city.
and it's not the same with alcohol. It's not the same. And I would love to say I'm not right, but I'm telling you, there's a difference.
This is back of experience, not just.
Yeah,
right.
I've been doing this 9 years, so
they didn't read this
10
in a
years.
book, all right?
And so anyway, Simply Grace is just, if people are looking for high accountability, low cost, Simply Grace is an amazing.
Right. Well,
we're a community.
Women in specific.
Women only. Yes,
Yeah,
we are female only, but we've got a counseling center, a IOP, intensive outpatient, which includes a kinetic recovery, so it's a workout. It's not just a normal like a normal typical IOP.
I got you.
And last year I opened a thrift store to help because I was tired of seeing women dig through trash bags to get clothes that were donated.
Yeah.
So I wanted them to have an experience where
they
it was
can
like a
actually
boutique.
go shopping, and it's like actually cool and like
if you
stuff.
see
I haven't been there yet, so.
He's kind of jelly, so he doesn't even let me talk about it.
I have thrift store. I have thrift store envy.
You definitely are a thrift store fanatic. Anytime I'm ever hanging out with Kelly,
I have a problem.
I have learned to take my own vehicle because what happens if I'm in Kelly's vehicle, we are stopping at a thrift store somewhere.
It's automatically.
You have to come to mine.
On Siri, thrift store near
me. And
thrift
it won't
store
be
near me.
It won't be quick. No, we're just stopping in real quick.
Yeah, you have to come check it out. Simply Grace, I would say, is more of a community of women that are wanting to. Our tagline is empowering women to fulfill their purpose, right? Because once I found my purpose, life changed for me.
Right.
Life
really
changed.
Get into that on the second episode.
Awesome.
But also, real quick, I wanted to bring up the Recovery's Got Talent.
Let's talk about the show.
So Recovery's Got Talent is the coolest. Lindsay Rail, who is with Grace Counseling, and I told her about an idea I had because there's so many talented women in Simply Grace. So Recovery's Got Talent is like America's Got Talent, but it's people only in recovery.
Sure.
They get to perform March 19th at a really beautiful venue, and people get to watch it.
Where is that venue?
Annette Strauss Square in downtown Dallas.
Okay, yeah, and it's on Flora Street, right?
Flora, yes, yeah. Flora Street. And so unfortunately the show is sold out, but we are going to do Facebook Live. But it's just an amazing. So the theme this year is Fear is a Liar, right? So these people that had dreams of singing and being comedians and all this were cut short because of addiction, and then even after their addiction, they felt like, I can't do this. They're scared. So fear was telling them they couldn't.
Right.
And so they get on this beautiful stage and perform and kind of allow their dreams to take flight, right?
Sure.
And that was the one thing that is my passion is creating experiences for people sober, right?
Yeah.
Because had I not had those experiences, getting sober and going to dances and fellowship and all, I wouldn't have stayed around at 19 years old had the life I have today.
No, fear or, like something that they gave up in their addiction. It's like a passion.
Yep.
And then, priorities change, right? So you give it up and then all of a sudden you get sober and you pick it back up. And that's really cool.
But since people cannot buy the tickets, they can they go to the website and like if they want to I know it's going to be on Facebook Live, but then if anybody wants to donate
they can go to simplygracehouse.org and there's a donate button.
Okay.
And you can always donate to us. We always need, even if you want to donate, like a lot of people don't want to give money, but they want to give like toilet paper because we provide everything for the women.
Sure.
Toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, laundry detergent,
That's
coffee,
awesome.
creamer.
Clothes,
yeah. Well, in our thrift store, we take furniture, everything.
Yeah, sure.
So if you just want to reach out to us, our number is on our website about any of these things that you have, or if you have something that you want to share with the women, this is about helping people change their life, right? And building a community. And people know that the Simply Grace community, we love people, man. We want to help people.
And that's, I think that's what I love about the Sober Vortex and everything is that, we're all here. I'm here and Nolan's here to tell people about stuff that they might not know about. And you're here to provide that service.
Yeah.
So, and I love it. I love that full circle moment. But hey, Weston, hi, how are you? I guess we're gonna go ahead and
let's wrap this up.
Wrap it up for
Part
this
uno.
week. Yeah. Don't forget these shirts will be up on the website djkellyreverb.com soon, and then we will be
Lone
playing.
Star's up now.
Oh, Lone Star's up now.
Lone
of course.
Star's up now.
Yes.
You want to grab this bad boy? Kelly's
And
will
this
be up
bad
soon.
boy will be up.
Mine is not. It's just good vibes. It's not
Just
for
good
sale. I'm
vibes, people.
sorry.
There we go.
I'm providing good vibes here.
There we go. But if you want to cue us up on the music and play us out, Maestro.
Yeah, man.
Weston, that's you.
Thank you,
there we
everyone,
go.
for listening.
Hey,
Thanks for
thanks
joining.
for listening.
Thank
we'll
you.
we'll have we're gonna film it now, but magically she will appear next week.
Yes.
Next
Friday. We're going to
Friday.
hop in our time machine,
And
travel
we're-
forward a week,
Right.
film this, go back a week, and let you back
And
off
Nolan,
when you get to
Nolan and I will trade shirts.
I'll put on a hat or something.
Or
That's
no,
what
I'll-
I'll do.
I'll
put
trade
on a
shirts.
hat.
Yeah,
Just
there
wear
you
my
go.
jacket.
There you go.
I'll go get my hat out of my car.
All right, hey guys. Well, I appreciate you listening.
Yeah.
Be sure and tune in next week. And remember, there is no magic pill for sobriety, because if there was, we would all take too many.
Indeed, indeed. Thanks
Thank
for listening,
you.
guys.
Bye.